It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me pushing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me knocking up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me pushing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me knocking up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. There's no place to hide, so stop the fight, I'm gonna get it. This running for me, baby, you're gonna regret it. You know that's why you can't free yourself, I let it. Go. You in my no listen, you can't escape it. Bring it to my full and see if you can take it. You be afraid, I know you're strong enough to make it. Go. It's like go down, they hear me coming through your speaker. You see me mashing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like go down, they hear me coming through your speaker. You see me mashing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me pushing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me knocking up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me pushing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me knocking up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. Everything your life's been searching for is in this direction. Come on, little closer, don't you feel the intersection? We gon' take you down and then we gonna keep you sweating. Go. Take you to a realm you never known is non-existent. You won't hear it coming, no matter how hard you listen. Everything the highway bring will be better position. Go. I don't know where you are from, what you running from. I don't know where you are from, what you running from. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me pushing up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound. It's like no time to hear me coming through your speaker. You see me knocking up your airways. I know you can't get enough of my sound.
Welcome in, everyone. Ooh, blowing up the mic, but that's okay. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday? No, Wednesday. Oh my God. Damn, happy Wednesday, everyone. I know, I'm sorry. Super dark. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, all right. Welcome in, everyone. My name is Angelina Tucci. It is Wednesday. Oh my God, May 20th. Whoa. It's Cher's birthday? What? Oh, 8/20. What? May 20th. Hey, Stardust City Hag reporting for mod duty. Thank you. DV8, cat in the box, heck yeah. We got so much news today. So much news. So many fires, which is insane. And they keep growing. So I hope everyone is safe. Let me turn down the music just a tad bit more. Hope everyone is safe, and the air quality is absolutely bad here in Bougie, Ranch Cucamonga. We are even affected by the air quality. It smells like fires outside. I can't even imagine anyone going outside to exercise. That's how bad the fire is. Oh yeah, we also have to cover the Claudia Scheinbaum robot too. Thank you for the reminder. We have, yeah, which is good because Claudia is a climate activist, or at least a climate scientist. I don't know. She knows about stuff. But yeah, it is crazy. The Bane fire has nearly doubled in size, I think, from yesterday. Okay, no, maybe not doubled. I don't know if everyone on stream can see this. But we got the Cal Fire maps. Shout out to Cal Fire. To all our firefighters out there. Airplanes, helicopters, we have been seeing them all throughout the sky. So it is great that, they're able to divert so many resources to all these individual fires. It's crazy. DV8 said we are going to compare robots. Also, fires are crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so all right, here let's hop in real quick to KTLA. They have a lot of coverage on it. Because there's also fires in in LA. Like not just the Inland Empire is burning. So yeah, we have the Bane fire. We have this new one called the Burro Fire. It's in the San Gabriel Mountains. That's crazy. It doesn't look to be that big, but who knows? It could grow. So yeah, there's just the Verona Fire, which is in the IE. That one, ooh, that does not, well, it seems like it's, oh no, it's right next to houses. Yeah, so there's that. Verona Fire, Bane Fire, Burro Fire, and then was there a bigger one in San Diego County? This Tulsi Fire, right near the border. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, and then yeah, stuff happening. Oh, you can even see the helicopters and the planes. Oh, what is this? Foothill Fire? Oh yes, and then one of the islands is on fire. That's crazy. La Santa Rosa Island. Oh my god, this looks so bad. The entire island. Well, I mean not the entire island, but all the way to the water. Oh my god. Imagine being on a boat and just seeing that. Okay, all right. Let's see what the big journalists are saying and monitor the situation. Okay. Sandy Fire. Yeah, okay, let's see.
Firefighters in Ventura County trying to keep the Sandy Fire from spreading closer to homes.
There are still visible flames this morning. KTLA's Carlos Herrera is live in Simi Valley with the latest. Carlos, good morning.
Oh, let me change the quality.
Task, Chris and Megan, for those firefighters on the ground and in the air this morning. Nearly 44,000 residents have been forced out of their homes so far. 400 of them are under evacuation warnings at this point. And here's a main concern for crews this morning. Multiple hot spots flaring up in already charred hillsides very close to homes. Let's get you an overhead look from Sky 5 right now, live in this neighborhood. We're
Whoa,
looking at,
that is
flare.
crazy flames. Oh my god. Chat, if you are not looking at the screen, look at the screen. The flames are crazy.
If you're in White Bark Lane and Sequoia Avenue, that is very close to several structures. We are seeing also multiple fire engines that are stationed throughout that neighborhood for many different fire agencies across
Yeah, that's
Southern
crazy.
California. We heard from them. They'll be
Also, welcome in
stationed here
Bashon in a
throughout
Box.
the
It's good to
day
see you.
because, again, they're worried that those embers
Shout out to
will be
Bashon in a
sparking,
Box.
flying,
Yeah, DV8
across
said,
other
whoa,
hillsides,
it's insane.
sparking other hot spots, other spot fires that could potentially spread into nearby homes.
This is in
these
Simi
flames have been
Valley.
racing up and down hillsides. On this second day, officials say that the fire did what crews actually expected it to do, shifting east. Now, we want to get you to some video that'll give you a different vantage point from the ground.
Crap. This is
We
by
know the
Thousand
Sandy Fire
Oaks.
has now grown to 1,698 acres so far, fueled by those
Oh my
strong winds,
God, man.
and it's
Right up
only
to people's
5%
houses.
contained.
Scary.
Many Simi Valley residents have now chosen to leave these danger zones, while
Okay,
others are
good. They
staying,
evacuated.
but they're watching the conditions closely.
I feel like we have a great fire department here, and we have a reservoir with water. So I'm not very fearful, but I'm just being cautious and I'll have a bag just in case we evacuate.
Scary.
Make sure my pets are safe and my kid, obviously.
We're under evacuation orders. We're staying for now, but if it's a matter where it's really worse than this, we're prepared to leave. We have all our bags ready, and we'll be ready to go if needed. I want to thank all the firefighters at the moment. They're truly one of our greatest heroes.
It's going to be another dynamic day for crews on the ground and in the air. Officials say they have been sending out additional resources to fight this blaze. 880 firefighters from different agencies across the region have now arrived.
Man, those
tasked with
planes
protecting homes
and
keeping the fire from spreading.
oh my God, the
into
tree just
areas that have
caught
not
up
burned
in
years.
flames.
They say the winds and terrain.
Oh my God, not to be like a pyro, but that was crazy. It just went from 0 to 60. Okay, here we go.
Have now arrived, tasked with protecting homes. And
Tree
keeping the
barely
fire
on
from spreading
fire.
into areas that have
Completely
not burned
engulfed.
in years. They say the winds
I
and
can't believe
terrain
someone's actually
are posing the
recording
biggest
that. Like,
challenges at
and
this
okay,
point,
good.
with
They're
the
walking
dry
away.
grasses
The
stoking
tree,
flames
it
and
just
steep
stopped
slopes,
burning now. It's
helping them
completely
spread.
charred.
The Sandy fire
Whoa.
broke out just before 11 a.m. Monday, so this now day 3. It happened
Whoa.
on Sandy Avenue. Raced toward
Crazy.
nearby
Sorry.
homes within
I'm
minutes,
completely
destroying
in
at least
awe,
one of
chat.
them.
I'm
A
sorry. This
neighbor
is
sharing
just
her Ring camera time-lapse video
Oh.
showing just how quickly the clear environment turned into a raging firestorm with white heavy smoke barreling through the neighborhood,
That's
chasing
crazy.
people and pets out of their homes. Back at our live, Chris and Megan, you see again the glow.
Oh my God, that footage, the Ring camera footage, it literally looked like it was from the Matt Damon the Martian movie. It just looks like it's the outside footage of you can't. It's just
into a raging firestorm
goes completely
with white, heavy
orange.
smoke barreling through the neighborhood, chasing people and pets.
It looks like
out of their
Mars, like a
homes. Back at
whole
our live,
different
Chris and Megan, you
planet.
see
Whoa.
Again, the orange glow in the far distance. We're hearing that
Scary.
evacuation orders
Absolutely
could be
scary.
added to areas east of the fire should there be more winds in this area that can fuel this
winds,
fire.
of course. Of course, the
Officials
winds are making
urging
it
people
worse.
To go to emergency.venturacounty.gov. That's where they'll be posting the latest updates in terms of evacuation orders and warnings. Of course, we'll be on the ground this morning talking with officials and bringing you the very latest. For now, we'll send it back to you in Hollywood.
Carlos, thank you. In Riverside County, evacuation orders and warnings are underway as crews try to
this
get
is
the upper hand on a brush fire burning in Harupa.
This is the Bane fire. Wow, this was. I mean, that had to have been. No, I don't know. I guess so. This aired 6 hours ago, right? But this is Bane fire.
The Bane fire was first reported yesterday morning just before 11:30 on Limonite Avenue and Bain Street near the Santa Ana River bottom. Now, as of this morning, the fire has burned more than 1,300 acres and is 10% contained.
Whoa. So I'm going to pause that. You can see there's like, I don't know if this little red stripe right there, like that's right outside this burn area. It looks like that maybe would have been some, or it looks like it's some of the whatever chemicals that they pour from the planes, and maybe it actually stopped the fire there. I don't know. I'm being dumb right now and just in awe with all this stuff, and like it's just crazy. We saw buildings on fire, like cars on fire. Wow. Sorry, let me just go back. Like yesterday, yesterday, me and Bashona in a Box, shout out to Bashona in a Box, my co-pilot. We went to do some investigative reporting and drove by the Bane fire, and saw it starting, and just yeah, sorry, Bashona in a Box, but no, it's crazy, it's crazy. So yeah, again, shout out to all the fire teams out there working on this. It's hot outside. It feels like summertime, but yeah. Deviate said, anyone going to do anything about the climate change situation? ? No ? Is it communist to do that? Apparently. Like I said, shout out to Claudia Scheinbaum. Our not fully democratic leader in Mexico, but at least she cares about climate change. Because you know what? Did Donald Trump even talk about these fires taking over Southern California? Probably not. I don't know. But yeah. Okay,
yesterday morning, just before 11:30 on Limonite Avenue and Bain Street near the Santa Ana River bottom. Now, as of this morning, the fire has burned more than 1,300 acres and is 10% contained. The new dashcam video shows the intensity of those flames as drivers raced to escape.
This is POV. You're me and Bashona in a Box driving to Corona yesterday. No, it did not look this bad when we were driving by it. Like, I think we were upwind of it, so we didn't get any smoke. I'm sorry, Bashona in a Box. I'm
the area. 4 people have been injured in the fire, 3 of them from smoke inhalation. Several vacant structures and storage containers have also been damaged. An evacuation center located at the
Deviate said Trump will say it's because we aren't drilling enough or something. Exactly.
South of the Bane fire, a smoke tornado formed.
Oh my God, this was crazy too.
You could see it towering above ground, picking up debris and smoke as it.
A freaking smoke. a sharknado. I mean, a smoke-nado. Oh my God. California is hell on earth right now.
Churn near the town of
That's
Homeland
crazy.
in Riverside County. The Verona fire has burned more than 400 acres since starting after noon yesterday. There's zero containment. One firefighter suffered minor injuries and was treated. CAL FIRE says they have stopped the wildfire's forward progress. The cause is still under investigation.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to continue to monitor those fires.
We haven't even seen like what we haven't even begin to speculate what started the fires and whatnot. So crazy. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I gotta put on my my Birkenstock chanclas. Okay. So yeah, that was crazy. Let's see if we can see more about the Bane fire. Let's see. I think that's how you spell it. Bane. Oh no, it does not have an E. Okay. Here we go.
In Riverside County, evacuation orders and warnings.
We already saw this. Dumb. Okay, here, let's see. Fox 11.
Good night, LA. I'm Christine Divide. Multiple wildfires burning tonight, including the Bane fire in Riverside County, which has burned
or a Category 6 hurricane.
Acres. It is now 10% contained. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf is live in Harupa Valley. Matthew?
Christine, conditions improving very quickly tonight. Right now, the winds almost nothing. Earlier, we were seeing gusts more than 20 miles per hour. But even right now, firefighters are out here working on hot spots. An urgent battle underway in Riverside County against the fast-growing Bane fire. Flames quickly ripping through the Santa Ana riverbed. How's the fight?
Oh, it's going great. It's going great. Made a little run to the east, but we were able to save that house right there.
Close to where the fire started, homeless encampments stretched one after another.
What are you doing out here still?
For Operation Red Wing Green Lantern.
This man shoveling dirt to try and stop small flames.
Oh my God, bro. No, get these people out of there. Well, I'm sure they're trying to save their stuff. Damn.
He says if the tree catches, it's going to be a lot worse. The Bane fire igniting Tuesday afternoon, quickly exploding to more than 1,300 acres. Homeowners in Riverside and Jurupa Valley grabbing garden hoses,
I hate
trying to save their properties.
every time there's a fire, always footage of people using their god dang garden hoses to try to get their stuff wet, try to get their house, and it's just like, nah, please. You're out there breathing all this shit. Look at homie got his ski goggles on. But I guess he doesn't need any, I don't know, he's not wearing a mask or anything, so just to protect his eyes.
Homes and people are down there messing around and causing nonsense and causing fires for us, and then here we are trying to fight for our homes.
Thick smoke filling the sky, making it hard to see.
Oh my God, sorry.
It's nonsense and causing fires for us, and then
this shirtless man using a pressure washer to spray, to wet, to moisten his palm trees that are clearly overgrown and should have been trimmed, right? That's all that those brown leaves hanging at the bottom of the palm trees are the most flammable, right? He's trying to save that from burning, I guess. And it's just like, your entire beer belly is hanging out and you're in this, it's like smoke. It's just, brother, go home. I mean, get out of there. Get out of there.
Smoke filling the sky, making it hard to see. 4 people injured, thousands under mandatory evacuation orders.
Incredibly thick with smoke. My eyes were watering.
Get out of there.
These flames are spreading very quickly. Even though there's not a whole lot of brush with these winds, everything in its path is lighting on fire.
Definitely a lot of homeless encampments throughout here. We have tried to evacuate.
Oh, I see. Hold on. I want to see that stuff on fire. Yes. Oh my God. What is that? It's just like random electronics, shoes. Deviate said, yeah, then get out. Like, what? Yes, exactly. Why? Every year, every fire, there's always these people. It's just like I would imagine, we're over here in California and we're watching, every hurricane season, we're seeing these people in Florida, in wherever, who are like, yeah, they told us to evacuate, but we ain't going. We got to stay here with our home, and it's like, literally the entire house is flooded. They're sitting on the top of their roofs or whatever. And it's like, brother, why didn't you evacuate then? But whatever. I know it's more complicated than that. There's like sometimes, a lot of times, especially in like Hurricane Katrina, I think they didn't let people evacuate with their pets. So people were like, I'm not leaving my pet behind. I'm just going to stay here with my pet. And yeah, so I get it. It's complicated than that, but like, you have to think about your own safety first and not trying to water down your palm trees. Like, I don't know, man. This guy, why you're trying to water down your palm tree? I don't know. We got to prevent this from happening in the future. This is just, I don't know. It's not right.
You're good?
And this too.
People live back in here?
This is going to be way, way more crazy. Yeah, Deviate said, take your cats and run. Yeah, 100%. It's going to be me LARPing as Lupita Nyong'o in, what was that movie called? Oh, it was the other, not Sandra Bullock. It was the movie where the aliens are attacking. It was Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was in the original horror film with whatever, John Krasinski, right? Whatever the heck his name is. Richard Nixon. With John Krasinski, and it was like a side story. But anyways, she's like running away from these aliens through the water, diving under the water, weaving through cars with her cat inside a tote bag. And it's like, that's gonna be me. I know it. It's gonna be me, and with BB's in one tote bag, Grayson in the other, and then Choochie's is gonna have to be strapped down in a carrier, and like it's just gonna be me and the cats, and we're just gonna be fleeing like this guy here. But man, yeah, pets are important, and everyone in Southern California has pets.
Yeah, I wish we'd all work together to shut it off, though. If everybody had a shovel.
Firefighters working non-stop, trying to keep the fast-moving fire from spreading even further. Firefighters taking advantage of the calm conditions tonight, containment up to 10%. The official cause of this fire remains under investigation. We're live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Deviate said I knew about Beebs, but yeah. So we have Beebs, we have Grayson, and then Choochie's. We call him Choochie's because his real name is actually Lucy, but oh yes, Stardust, thank you. A Quiet Place Day 1. That is the movie that I was talking about. But yeah, Choochie's, his name is actually Lucy, but we named him Lucy because I originally thought he was a girl because he was so tiny. But when we finally brought him inside, we realized that he was not a girl. But I was like, he's already responding to the name Lucy, and then we just, the babyfying it even further. Lucy, Choochie's. That's what he's, Choochie's. Chuchi. Okay. Here, hold on. Oh, I forgot that Charlie liked this. No, the cats. See, look at. Okay, first off, trigger warning. If you don't want to see cats, they don't really suffer. Like, thank God the cat survived all the way through. The cat survived the whole movie. But it was non-stop stuff like this.
Animals are great judges of character, aren't they? So I think the fact that Frodo...
The cat chose her, and then... No, didn't she have an orange cat, though? No.
The thing that is scariest to the audience is the most comedic thing to the actors. Creature!
Whoa, what the... Okay, hold on. I want to just see her... This... Okay, hold on. We gotta be very selective. Because we don't want to get copyright stricken. That camera work for the cat. Yeah, I know. Hold on. Nah. Well, whatever. Y'all watch the movie Quiet Place Day 1. It's a little spin-off of A Quiet Place. Oh, I didn't even know there's a part 2. Jesus. Oh, wait. Here we go. Cat scene. With, I forgot that, what's his name? Oh my god. Okay. Aliens. Lupita. Cat in, what's his name's arms. He was just a rando guy, but... Oh my god, aliens chasing after man with cat. This is crazy. Hold on, we're gonna jump a little bit forward. Look, okay, this shot right here. Man in ocean with cat. Saving cat. That's crazy. Cat's not even meowing or anything. There it is. This is so cute. See? These cats. It's so precious though. So precious. Okay. Alright, that's enough. The cat's gonna make me cry. I feel it. No, okay. Alright. Yeah, so back to Banefire. Here, let's see this. We got some on-scene TV. Is one of these people that are like one step ahead of me. This will be me one day, just going. Crazy. I wonder if Mr. On the Theta did anything. Okay, it's just like a bunch of B-roll. That's crazy. It's just burning. Oh, someone saved a pig.
Okay.
They saved a
Do
pig.
an interview real quick?
Interview for what?
For the news.
For the news? Oh, this is the news.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you got the video, the
Yeah,
thing, that's
yeah.
always good. If you want to get one more,
Aw.
Survivor right there.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got him in.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Damn.
Sorry about that, dude.
What? A car completely burnt. What is it? Oh, it looks like... No, it's a 4-door. I can't tell what it is. Oh, wait, here we go. No. Oh, not the jet skis. Not the jet skis. Deviate said one day, and we still haven't figured out the climate change thing, even though the answers are right in front of us. Yep. It's right in front of us. Dang, that's crazy. The fire is crazy. Oh, look, here we go. More animals getting saved. A doggo. Oh, no, he couldn't make the jump. Poor baby. Sorry. Sorry for if I'm blowing out the mic. Poor baby couldn't make the jump. Watch this. He's such a... Ah! He fell. Oh, poor baby. Okay, it's okay. There we go. Pick him up. Yes. There we go. There we go. Damn, now they're doing that homie dirty. He's running in his chanclas. Yeah, he was probably in such panic. You know the animals can sense that. Crazy. Alright, shout out to On Scene TV for getting this footage. Whoa, firefighters just through the gate. I mean, through the fence. Heck yeah. What are they doing there? Another animal? No. Oh yeah, I guess they're just going through this farm. What are they doing? What are... Oh, it's a bird cage. Oh, they're trying to clear these birds out of this cage. That's... I mean, those birds are never going to come back into that cage. But it's better than them just staying in there. Like, it would have been so bad. Yeah, see right here, you just see the birds, they're trying to get out through the top. Poor babies. Okay, and then the firefighter just went in there to try to flush them out. There you go. See, they're going out. They're going out. Good, good. Oh my god. That's good. See, this is the good stuff that I like to see. You know, this is service, 100%. Look, fire truck from Ontario Fire Department. Shout out to Ontario Fire Department. They're out there in Harupa Valley helping out, you know, save these animals. You know, those birds, bless them. Hopefully they have enough survival instincts to go out and survive on their own. Oh man, yeah, firefighters just posted up ready to save this barn if needed. That's wow. Oh crap, what is this? I don't... Hold on, let me... Okay, it's just them walking through, Oh, no. We don't need to hear that. Those doggies whining. It's like an animal shelter, I think. Okay. Well, firefighters look like they're doing more evacuation. Damn. Oh yeah, this looks like a animal shelter or something. Wow. Crazy. It's like this place taking roll call.
Tell me your first and last name.
Jim O'Neill.
How do you spell your last name?
O-N-E-I-L-L.
All right,
O'Neill,
Jim,
heck
what are
yeah.
your thoughts of this fire?
Well, we've lived in this house right here on the corner for 36 years now.
Wow.
We've never had anything come this close.
Wow.
Looks like the fire department's doing a great job.
Nice.
Got our fingers crossed.
They're doing a good job. What do you think of this wind? It's picking up.
Santa Ana winds. It's that time of year.
Have you been told to
Santa Ana
evacuate yet?
wins.
No.
Okay. You haven't talked to any deputies, anything?
No.
Okay.
We have our cars pulled out of the garage, ready to go if you need to.
Are you ready to go? Do you have a go bag and everything you need?
Got all that. Rounded up the pet, and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be in the neighborhood, so if you need anything, grab me.
Thank
you.
Damn. Okay. Shout out to Unseen TV. I subscribe to them. Seems like they do a lot of this type of stuff. But yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we can see. Here we go. Oh, someone was streaming this, live streaming the fire. That's crazy.
Dude, there might be houses on the other side of this.
Whoa, this was last night.
I'm gonna grab my backpack. I'm gonna grab my back.
Whoa, horses. Okay, yeah, this is just whatever MD Media live streaming this last night.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
Okay.
We'll find a spot. I made sure I have plenty of gas. So.
Okay, good, homie.
I saw a spot. I'm gonna go up one of those side roads back here. A few.
Yeah, that's wow.
This is where it started at Bain.
Here's him in the side roads. Damn.
How far does this go?
Yeah, exactly. DV8. Wow, did not know someone was streaming this. Yeah.
Miles? Pretty far, huh? No good. No good, huh? No bueno. Around.
Oh wait, so here. Let's see the OP.
Not where I am right now. No. The Marcus? No, not where I am right now. Not at the moment. No.
Wait, hold on. Let's see the chat.
Oh, good. My battery was at 36%. You ladies are true heroes. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate you both. You got 400 people watching.
Wow. There you go. 400 people watching last night.
Got two young ladies out here spreading water, doing the water bucket drops.
That's good.
Saving homes.
Okay, look here. He's looking over the ridge.
Nice.
Damn. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, you know, he's out there doing the work, you know, doing the important, but you got to be careful, brother. He didn't have no PPE. At least a little, even just a little, you know, surgical mask. Jeez. That's too scary.
Charging?
Can't be doing this.
Yeah, my battery's charging. Letting it burn.
Right there next to fire.
Oh, they're back. Okay, so that's why they're doing backfires now. I think he's got to back up. Here comes another water drop. They're getting this water drop. We're going to get wet. I got wet a little while ago. It was great. It was great.
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Getting helicopter water dropped on you.
Guys, I'm getting back. I'm getting back. Here we go, guys.
Oh, I hear it. Really, brother? Oh. No. Brother, no.
Oh, look how dark it just made it.
Whoa.
Holy smokes. Oh, it feels good.
You can hear the water dropping.
Nice shot.
Wow. Yes, DV8, he was right there. He was in the splash zone. Who needs to go who needs to go to SeaWorld? You just go to Riverside when there's a fire and just what? Let's replay that. That was crazy cuz it was the fire here comes helicopter and then poof. He's like what? Maybe 50 feet away from it?
Oh, look how dark it just made it. Holy smokes. Oh, it feels good.
Wow. No. He said it feels good.
Nice shot.
Yeah, this is like Tornado Chasers level of crazy. I turned up the volume so you can hear all the like fire being put out.
Here, I got you too.
What, now they're running? Oh, okay, they're putting out fires too. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I got you.
Whoa. You hear the fire being extinguished.
Holy shit, guys.
Yeah, watch. Look at embers.
After this. Guys, winds are picking up. Fire creates its own wind. So winds are about 15 miles per hour right now, guys.
Literally embers flying right by him. I don't know, chat. This is crazy.
Oh shit, we got another one.
No. See? Oh my god. No.
I'm backing up. Back up, guys.
I don't think this is okay. Like, oh, man. So, okay. Here, let's fast forward to where the firefighters. I know. DVA said winds picking up. Bruh, leave. This is crazy. I mean, like I said, I'm conflicted. On one hand, he's got this footage, got this first-hand real accounts, but like, at what cost?
There's another water drop.
Another? See, this is SeaWorld for him.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh.
I'm getting all the money shots, guys. Channel 5 is gonna love these.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's in association with Channel 5?
A hook up with Channel 5 News.
Okay. Deviate said, is that interfering with firefighters? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you know, because not only do the firefighters have to worry about fighting the fire, they have the whole reason they want people to evacuate is so that way they don't have to worry about lives being in danger. They don't have to worry about humans being in danger, and they could just focus on fighting the fire. But when you have yahoos, well, I don't know if they're Yahoo, I'm gonna say yahoos like me, going out there and being like, yes, let me get this first-hand footage. I don't know, bro. That's conflicting to me. But I don't know. The firefighters are right here. They haven't like told him to leave, so I guess they're cool with it. I don't know. But DVA said give them to Alex Michelson. Heck yeah.
Oh, he's carrying brush around, spreading it around.
Probably trying to burn the brush.
I'm gonna keep walking. We got buckets.
Yeah, I guess maybe he does.
Just keep checking it out. Get the byline and credit. CNN will be calling.
He said CNN will be calling.
Crazy, huh? Yeah, this year's crazy. Fuck.
Wow.
It's picking up right there, but yeah. I wanted to get those trees over there, man. Now these big guys. What is this? Like a yard? Yeah. Like a storage yard or something? No, it's a house.
Let's see here. Oh no. Okay, save the horsey in the... Oh no, poor baby's scared. Okay, we're gonna skip by that, but I'm assuming they saved the horsey. Yeah, homie was streamed for 3 hours straight last night. That's really good, and he had connection the whole time.
So there's down below the bottom of the riverbed.
Whoa. Okay, so he's record. You know what? Let me pull up Google Maps too, real quick. Here we go. Wait. The fire was by this thing, I think. Right? Because there was the stupid riverbed. Okay, hold on. Let me go to CAL FIRE again. It's... Okay. Riverside, Norco. There we go. Okay, I think it's this. Yeah, okay. I'm in the right spot. Okay, it's this area here. So yeah, homie's like, I didn't know. I guess I just thought this was flat, but I guess if it is a riverbed, this is probably a little bit deeper. Let's see if we could like look at this. Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. So the riverbed, wow, it's so luscious and green whenever in October 2025. Look at all this water there. This is why this is why all this brush is burning now. But yeah, it's basically this. All of this caught on fire. Damn. This person's house. Scary right there. But yeah, this crazy. All right, let's continue with this.
About an hour ago, the fire was up here. About 45 minutes maybe, the fire was up here really raging.
Now it's... Wow.
Do I feel this heat up right here? I feel that heat.
So he's close enough to feel the heat of the fires.
I think we're at the hottest part of the fire. Yeah, wall of fire earlier, yeah.
All right, I think that's about it from him. Interesting. Let me check out the rest of his channel. Okay, he was live streamed an hour ago. Okay, let's see. Oh, he's got that vertical.
I don't have any more water. I'll get some water after I
Let's see. So he's just checking it out.
But look at this.
All that saved.
Hello, Cindy. We're at the Blaine fire, watching crews mop up.
Blaine fire.
That would have been a bad drop off last night for me. Oh yeah, smoke is still pretty thick. Now see, they have it 25% contained. I don't see any flame.
Well, not here.
I don't see any active flame.
Okay. All right.
Still homeless people are still down here.
Well, yeah. Let's not look into their lives, brother. Okay. All right.
Live streamers out here.
Okay. Let's see. What was the other fire? Not the Bane fire. I think we just about got that. The Burrow fire. Yeah, Deviate said homeless. Shocking, yeah. Okay, here we go.
Fire crews are busy with another fire here this afternoon. This one in a remote part of the Angeles National Forest in LA County. The Burrow fire has burned 30 acres with no containment so far. Firefighting resources are already spread.
Okay, yeah, look
at.
at
Takers are already up there.
It's red.
Fighting this fire right now. No structures are threatened.
Crazy. Oh yeah, we need to look at the fire that's on the island. What was that called again? Was it the Catalina Island fire? Oh no, Santa Rosa Island. That's crazy. No, someone's writing SOS? What?
And more breaking news tonight. The biggest of the fires burning tonight is in the Channel Islands.
And Mike, crazy as it sounds, this fire was actually started by a shipwrecked sailor.
Yeah, that's at least preliminarily what
What?
they're looking into here, is that this sailor may have used a flare gun and started the fire, though that's not confirmed. They're just looking
No.
into that at this point. But I do want to show you some of the video that we've gotten from the Coast Guard here that shows that blaze burning. Now, this is the Santa Rosa Island area. This is off the coast of kind of Oxnard, Santa Barbara area. It's a very remote island, not inhabited.
Yeah,
at all.
a shipwrecked sailor, I guess.
1,000 acres at this point. The good news is, late tonight, after some mapping and thanks to some air dropping retardant fixed-wing planes that have been out there, they do have the fire up to 26%.
Damn, the whole
contained. But
island.
the fire, where it's burning, is
Oh.
causing so much issues for firefighters being able to get resources out there, including this. So first of all, here's the map of the area. The Santa Rosa Island is all the way out here, and you can see.
Whoa, sorry, I just got shocked by homie's setup here. He has a sliding camera above his monitor, and it's just slowly panning. Sorry, it's just like I was so perplexed by his setup.
So here's the map
Little
of the area.
camera.
Santa Rosa Island is all the way out here, and you can see just how much of the island has burned. We're talking 17,000 acres, which on this map looks like it's almost a third of the island. Here's the thing, though. It's burning through very dry vegetation. LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn today pointed out something that the Santa Rosa Island did back in 2011, which is get rid of all of the mule deer on the island. That is a plan that is currently under consideration and actually moving forward very quickly on Catalina Island. Tonight, the supervisor is concerned that if the plan on Catalina Island goes forward, the same thing that's happening on Santa Rosa Island could happen on Catalina because those deer are not there to eat that vegetation. The Conservancy tonight is pushing back, though, saying it is the deer that created the problem on Santa Rosa Island. They say they can manage it with fire mitigation systems. The supervisor, not so sure.
What?
Is it
That's
possible
crazy.
to manage the island in such a way without the deer to prevent something that's happening on Santa Rosa Island?
I don't think anyone has brought forth any evidence that you can manage this kind of brush.
Wait, why do I kind of feel like we looked into this lady before, Supervisor Janice Hahn? I feel like she's a Trump, a Trump Republican, but because it's, LA County Supervisor. Keystone species? Is that what those deer mule are? Man.
Native or invasive, without some natural
Oh, there they are.
management.
Oh my God, they're literally deer in headlights. So they eat the brush, and the brush.
Fire management, like goats or like deer.
Okay.
And for them to say that that's the reason the Santa Rosa fire spread so rapidly is crazy. I think it's just the opposite. They eradicated the deer in 2011. This total eradication is a bad idea. And as we see today with the fire on Santa Rosa Island, it could have really harmful consequences.
And there have been a lot of people that are against this plan on Catalina Island, including the LA County Fire Chief. LA County's County Council sent a letter to the Catalina Conservancy. Many people, hunters, are opposed to it as well for the humane reasons of killing all of the deer on the island. But the supervisor says, look, this is foreshadowing. This is what's happening in Santa Rosa. This is what could happen in Catalina. The Conservancy pushing back.
Keystone species basically play a critical role in the ecosystem. That makes a lot of sense. And there we go. They completely removed the keystone species, and bam, look at what a mess we're in now. The mule deer. Yeah. Keystone species. Not to be confused with the Keystone Pipeline, right? Organism that has a well, let me not read the AI one. Some animals are more equal to others. Let's watch that. Bio-interactive. DVA said, I don't know if those deer are keystone. But yeah, they sound pretty important.
To desert, from forest to plain, from mountaintops to the seashore. The Earth is home to many habitats. And every habitat contains a community of plants and animals. Each community is populated by different species. And each species is present in different numbers.
So what determines how many species live in a given place? Or how large each population can grow?
The answers to such basic questions about how nature works eluded biologists for a long time, until on this rocky Pacific shore in 1963, young zoology professor Robert Payne pried a purple starfish off the rocks and threw it out into the bay. And so began one of the most important experiments in the history of ecology.
Some animals are more equal than others. I love that. It's like a Animal Farm reference.
So what brought Robert Payne to this rugged coast? And why was he hurling starfish? The answer takes us back a few years to a classroom at the University of Michigan.
It was a lovely day. The old zoology building at Ann Arbor had a courtyard, and in that courtyard there was a tree which was beginning to bud out.
Professor Fred Smith asked his students a seemingly simple question.
And he said, "Class, I want you to think about this. Why is that tree green?"
Oh
and
my
someone
God.
said,
Chlorophyll.
Fred said,
Yeah,
"What keeps the
chlorophyll.
leaves there?"
Although technically chlorophyll is what makes trees green, Fred Smith was asking a bigger question. He was thinking about food chains.
You obviously had producers. They are the energy suppliers to whatever lives off of them. Then you have consumers on top of that, and you know them herbivores.
The popular idea at the time was that the number of producers limits the number of herbivores. In turn, the number of herbivores limits the number of predators that feed on them. Every level was regulated by the amount of food from the bottom of the food chain going up. But this view didn't explain why herbivore populations don't simply grow to the point where they eat all of the leaves on the tree. Professor Smith had discussed this conundrum with two colleagues, Nelson Hairston and Lawrence Slobodkin. They proposed a new idea. The number of herbivores must be controlled not only from the bottom up, but also from the top down.
Oh, yeah.
The herbivores
Wow,
had the
even
capacity
in
of
nature they
destroying
have
plants.
3 classes. they need, even in nature they need to have a middle class to have a successful society.
Community. Trees could be defoliated.
Wow, what
And
an ugly
why weren't they
caterpillar, so
defoliated?
fat.
And the answer was because there weren't enough insects around to do that, and that was the role of predators.
The world is green because predators keep herbivores in check. This was a radical concept that became known as the Green World Hypothesis.
Wow.
Up until that time, no one thought predators had any role in regulating ecosystems.
Really?
This class was the first public vetting of the Green World Hypothesis.
And one of Smith's students, Robert Payne, would be the one to put this idea to the test.
That's pretty cool.
A few years later, as a new professor at the University of Washington, Payne went looking for a system where he could study the role of predators.
I discovered the Pacific Ocean and this magnificent array of organisms which lives along its margins. There it was, spread out in front of me. It was nirvana.
He began by identifying all the organisms, and then he started mapping out who eats whom.
There were carnivorous gastropods feeding on barnacles. There were sea urchins feeding on algae. There was a lot of pattern.
His observation
starfish
showed
was
that
at
a
the top of the
species of
food
large
chain?
purple and orange starfish, called Pisaster ocratius, was at the top of the food chain.
Oh God, that's so creepy.
Starfish may seem like unlikely predators, but speed time up a bit and you'll see deadly hunters.
Oh God.
If
Oh,
the starfish is feeding,
so uncanny.
you turn over and you see what the starfish is eating. They're eating mussels. They're eating a lot of other things as well, but they're eating mussels.
So DVA says, so
Payne
the deer
asked,
seems like
what
they are the
happens when you
keystone
remove the predator
species.
starfish
That's
from a
crazy.
single outcrop?
That's crazy. So then why would they agree to completely eradicate that animal from the island? That's insane. They did that in 2011?
I would then scale them as far as I could, and in those days I could throw a starfish 60 or 70 feet out into deeper water. There were always starfish marching in, so during the summer months I would drive the 350-mile round trip, hit the area at low tide, do my removals, take other data, and then return to Seattle.
The ecosystem started to change rapidly.
Within a year and a half, I knew that I hit ecological goal.
Although the top predator had been removed, surprisingly, the number of species in the rock actually decreased from 15 to 8.
After 3 years, it went down to 7, but then by another 7 years, it had simplified itself till it was basically a monoculture. I changed the nature of the system.
That's crazy. Okay, so he removed the keystone species, the top predator, right? Top boss, top mafia boss. And then in turn, instead of having I'm just going to call them the middle class species, instead of having the middle class species flourish, some of them went away. Why? I'm going to make a guess here. Is it because now those middle class species have to like fight amongst themselves for resources because there's no longer the predator to, for them to focus on having to survive against? So now they have to focus on surviving against each other. And then that's why the weaker species in the middle class fell out. Oh my God, someone has to compare this to politics. This is crazy. I had no idea that nature did this. Thank you, DV8. That is crazy. Keystone species. Okay, we'll have to look into the deers too, because I want to see like what they eat, right? Oh my God, and then I gotta talk to my biology friend, because she actually knows about marine life and shit. Oh, excuse me, as marine life and stuff. Trying to be PC family friendly content here. And like she grew up in LA area, and I know she's been to these islands quite a few times. So that's crazy. I would love to know more about this. Man, okay, hold on. Let's continue watching this quick little video.
Experiment continued. The line of mussels advanced down the rock face, monopolizing almost all of the available space and pushing all other species out.
I called it.
Payne had discovered that one predator could regulate the composition of an entire community. He coined a term to describe the power a single species can exert on an ecosystem.
I know very little about architecture, but if you build an arch, you have to get the two sides of it to put
That's
pressure
why it's called
against one another.
keystone.
And therefore, at the apex of the arch, you have a keystone. You pull the keystone out, and the structure collapses.
Damn.
Many predators, like Pisaster starfish, turn out to be keystone species.
These keystone species have a huge impact which extends well beyond to the species they primarily prey on.
Yeah.
Most species do not have large impacts. In other experiments, Payne had removed various species, but that had little or no effect on the ecosystem as a whole.
Wow, that's so
All
crazy.
animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And that expresses the fact that all species don't have the same impact on the system they're in. It takes experiments to tease that out, and that's often not easily done.
Payne's pioneering experiments and the concept of keystone species sent ripples through the field of ecology and turned thinking about the regulation of communities upside down.
Remove the predator, the system simplifies itself. This is an ecological concept, which is general and global.
As Payne continued his studies a little further from shore, he noticed another striking pattern.
What?
There were a lot of tide pools, and some of the tide pools were dominated by urchins, some weren't.
In the tide pools with lots of urchins, there was much less kelp. Payne suspected the urchins were keeping the kelp from growing.
And I said to myself,
bro, that's crazy. I'm sorry. It's just blowing my mind right now. Tide pools are like ancient Greece. That's crazy. These individual tide pools separated from each other like ancient Greece. You had a Spartan tide pool and you had an Athenian tide pool. That's crazy. I'm sorry. It's blowing my mind.
That's my next round of experiments.
Payne removed all the urchins by hand from some pools and left nearby pools untouched. Again, the results were dramatic. In the pools where he removed urchins, the kelp started growing almost immediately.
What?
Urchins control the kelp. Therefore, this is a total violation of the green world hypothesis.
The urchins in Payne's pools were eating all of the kelp. So why was nothing regulating
I understand,
the urchin
because sorry, we're learning together. The green world hypothesis, oh my God, hypothesis. I'm getting made fun of here, chat. Sorry. I'm being Uh, I'm being discriminated against for my my speech impediment. No, I don't have a speech impediment. So the green hypothesis was saying that no matter how much herbivores there are in the ecosystem, right? They would not completely eradicate the greens that they need to survive. But damn, Stardust City Hag producer right to make fun. Yeah, get out of here with your salute, Stardust City Hag, but thank you. um the producer, geez, the consumers did not remove the kelp. They did eat the kelp all the way, but why? Okay, hold on. Well, this will answer our own
Populations.
question.
The answer would come from a fortuitous meeting on a remote island in Alaska's Aleutian Island
No
chain.
way.
There, Payne would cross paths with another scientist. In 1971, James Estes was an ambitious young graduate student.
At the time that Bob and I met, I was just beginning to try to think my way through what it was I was
Yo,
going to do.
UC Santa Cruz, shout out.
We met in a bar after a movie. I was interested in sea urchins, and Jim, I think, was doing a study on sea otter physiology.
Oh my God, sea otters, they're so cute.
I was explaining to him what it was that I was thinking of trying to do, which was somehow understand how an ecosystem like the one at
What are they
Amchitka Island
just
could support
rubbing
such
the
a
kelp
high
on
abundance of
themselves?
predators, and do that through an understanding of production and the efficiency of energy and material flow upward through the
God.
food web. And Bob's explicit or implicit reaction to that was, that's just not very interesting. And have you ever thought about what these animals might be doing to the system?
Payne realized if Estes focused on what sea otters were doing from the top down, rather than the kelp from the bottom up,
Eating the
he
sea
might discover the
urchins.
role otters play in the organization of nature.
So
And
are
so
sea
I
otters
thought,
the keystone?
why not? Let's go out and have a look.
Payne was suggesting an approach similar to his starfish throwing experiment. Remove otters from the ecosystem and test the impact that had on other species.
But I don't think at that time that Bob had any perception of how that might be done. But I did, because I knew quite a bit about the history of the otters. They were abundant across the North Pacific, and then the Pacific Maritime Fur Trade began in 1741,
F those
and over the
fur
subsequent
traders.
150 years, otters were running
F
to the brink
those
of
fur
extinction.
traders, bro.
In 1911 or 1912, further take was prohibited, and a few of those colonies survived and served as the seed for the recovery of the species.
But the sea otter recovery was spotty.
They had completely recovered from the fur trade at a number of island systems
Oh my
across the
God,
Aleutian
they're so
archipelago,
cute
of which
running.
Amchitka is a part. There were other island systems where they had not yet recovered.
The experiment was simple. Compare ecosystems with otters to those without. He began with his home island of Amchitka.
I knew a lot about what Amchitka looked like. I knew that sea urchins were common but very small.
The next step was to arrange for a dive at nearby Shemya Island, a location with no otters.
The most dramatic moment of learning in my life happened in less than a second. And that was sticking my head in the water at Shemya Island.
So many sea
It
urchins.
was just green with
Whoa.
urchins and no kelp. And it all sort of fell into place in just an instant, that the loss of otters from that system had completely reorganized that system, from which kelps had probably been very abundant before the loss of otters, to one in which the sea urchins now had become abundant in the absence of the otters and had eaten all the kelps.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that's crazy. Deviate. So yeah, your friend could probably say if the deer is a keystone species or not, but it seems to me to be that. Heck yeah. Thank you, Deviate, for the education. Not that I'm doubting you or anything, but it's just, you know, shout out to my homie. She's a biologist. She's living her biologist dream. So yeah, that's crazy. Keystone species. Thank you for the education. Today I learned. Wow. All right. So yeah, sea urchins. Sea urchins should have taken over. Sea urchins were taking over when there was no sea otters. Crazy. All right. Let's get back to news. I mean, this is great, but okay. Actually, what were those deers called? Mule deer? No, not hunting. Mule deer, Santa Rosa. Bro, of course people would go hunting on these islands. What? Extermination Island? The story of the multi-year effort to eradicate Roosevelt elk and mule deer. No.
Southern California. People flock here for the sun
Sorry.
and fun, the beautiful beaches, the fabulous shows,
Oh
and
my
the
God.
non-stop excitement.
What
30
is
miles from the
this?
coast of Santa Barbara is a spot with an entirely different vibe, Santa Rosa Island.
What?
A modern-day Jurassic
I swear, if this is
Park,
AI, it
a
sounds like
pristine,
AI.
magical island paradise, where diversity is king, and herds of majestic animals graze wild and free. It's an idyllic 56,000
Wow,
acre
there's
spot
elk on
free
this
of predators
island?
where the animals grow large and healthy, rarely exposed to man's influence. It's also ground zero.
What the Okay, I'm not gonna watch this video. I'm not gonna... well, okay, no. Hold on, let's watch the history.
A species so prized, it was named after Teddy Roosevelt, America's
Oh my
greatest
God.
conservationist.
You know what? Let me guess. They're called Roosevelt elk because Teddy Roosevelt liked to hunt them. Homie, I know for a fact, was a hunter. Well, I know he's an outdoorsman, and also he made a lot of the state parks and stuff, but come on.
President.
Hunting?
The controversy of the mule deer and elk on the island pits private landowners against the federal government.
Oh my
and brings
God.
together such diverse groups as animal rights activists,
Yup.
sportsmen, politicians, the families that still inhabit the island, and
Oh my
lovers
God.
of everything wild and free.
What? All
It
these poor little
involves
deer.
eminent domain, animal rights, people's rights, as they question the role of the government in our daily lives. This is a story of broken promises and shattered traditions in which the truest victims are some of the most unique wild animals in North America. Some question what the government's role is in managing the island and wonder, is there an
Why do they get those
inconsistency in
shots?
current policy that many feel ride roughshod over more than a century of family history and stewardship
God.
and the
Okay. Come on.
extinct? They will be hunted down by hounds and armed snipers.
No, okay. Okay, that's it. Extermination Island, nope. Oh my God. Okay. That's crazy. No, I'm not even you know what? F these people. F these hunters. Call of the Wild type stuff. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. All right. Okay. I think, did we cover all the fires? Oh, the Verona fire. Near Hemet. Oh, we already saw that. Here we go. Shout out to Ray Roman Media, watching his video here for another first-hand footage. You know, that's what I think. I think this is what it is. These people get... I got into the news because I want to just talk about politics all the time. These people got into the news because they want to chase after storms and wildfires. Dang. Oh yeah, that's big. Okay, let's see. He got a footage of a... Wow, that's bad. Okay, let's see. Same homie, Ray Roman. Fires from last night. In Hemet. Wow. Here, we'll subscribe to him. Dang, those big flames. Big flames. Let's see. And the Verona fire, it's about the... No, how many acres is it? The Verona fire is 500 acres. The Bane fire is 1,000. Okay. Dang. Wow. And right next to people's homes.
Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan joins us now live in Homeland, where the Verona fire has destroyed some property there. Rob.
Right. Well, the good news is we just heard on the radio a short time ago that they've declared the forward progress of this fire stopped with fire retardant on both sides of it. Let's go to some video shot by Air 7 shortly after the fire broke out earlier this afternoon. As you mentioned, we have lost some structures. I spoke with one resident here in this neighborhood that the locals call Juniper Flats, but it's really between a rural area between Hemet and Diamond Valley Lake. At any rate, this area here, according to this neighbor, has lost between 3 to 4 homes from what he was able to account at this point. Now let's go to the other fire that was also burning pretty close to homes. This is the Bane fire burning in the Santa Ana River bottom between Jurupa Valley and the city of Riverside. Now the winds, which were out of the north, were pushing the fire toward the city of Riverside. Several neighborhoods under evacuation orders there near Arlington and La Sierra. And as you mentioned, there were 4 injuries reported. One came in as a traumatic injury. 3 other people, smoke inhalation. That fire has burned 600 acres at this point. And from what we've been able to hear on the ground, the smoke is starting to turn that white color. So we get a feeling that the fire department is starting to gain the upper hand, but many evacuation orders still in place there in the city of Riverside. Back here live in Homeland, the evacuation orders are still in place for several neighborhoods out here affected by the Verona fire, but again, the forward progress has been stopped. Live in Homeland, Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Crazy. Oh, all right. I think, what? Cajon fire burning in San Bernardino County?
Another fire in the Inland Empire burning near Lake Matthews. We do want to get to that breaking news as well. Shelby Nelson joins us live now from that fire in the Inland Empire. Again, Shelby, you are on the scene of the Cajon fire.
That's right. It's the Cajon incident that started just before 11 a.m. We're at this property off of Cajon Boulevard. It's a pretty remote area, but I want to show you what we're seeing out here. So lots of smoke. It appears that firefighters are getting a good handle on things, but take a look right behind us. So that red tape that you see, what I'm being told is that this is where investigators are honing in on a potential cause of the fire. That's what they're looking into right now. They don't have the cause just yet, but they have to look into the origin, and that's where they're looking into, as you also see firefighters still trying to put out hot spots beyond that. Now take a look over here. So we're on the same property. We've got a home not in your vantage point, but over here, you've got a couple sheds that have burned down. These are some of the structures that CAL FIRE San Bernardino talked to us about earlier, saying, yes, these are the structures that were burned earlier. It appears that this is all on the same property. I'm going to bring in Sean Millerick. Sean, you are the PIO with San Bernardino County CAL FIRE. Tell us a little bit about how this all started, what you guys could tell us right now.
So I work for San Bernardino County Fire, not CAL FIRE, but...
Excuse me, San Bernardino County Fire, there you go.
We're in unified command with CAL FIRE and the Forest Service, because behind us you've got the National Forest, you've got state property in this river area, and then you have this area which is part of the county. So we work pretty seamlessly in this area because we get so many active fires here. So we have a lot of units that got here very quickly. We had a passerby, the Cajon Pass is right above us, so we had a passerby call in the smoke. So people converged here quickly, so we had a lot of units on scene, including dozers, helicopters, hand crews, things like that.
And we're understanding that there's no wind advisory, there was no warning out here, but it was pretty windy earlier on. Tell us how that contributed to this fire.
Yeah, so we do get weather reports, so the fire departments involved knew we had wind coming today, so we were prepared. What we probably saw when I got here was probably about 30 mile an hour, pretty sustained winds. Satcho drove this fire off this property into the open vegetation to my right.
And we've got lots of brush. This appears to be just one person's property. Do we know if anybody was home? Does anybody live there?
We're trying to find that out. It appears to us that nobody was here, and this house is under renovation. So luckily the house is still
so
here.
It's a small
and
fire.
burned.
Damn, I was worried. I was like, man, we're all of California's burning. Not again. Okay. All right. Let's maybe switch to next story. Which is Representative or former Representative Barney Frank passing. I think this is going to be a good article from WBUR, Boston, I think. Yeah. Here's a really cute picture of Barney Frank and Elizabeth Warren. So, chat, if you don't know Barney Frank, I think we'll learn everything we need to know about him right now in this article. All right. Massachusetts politicians mourn late Congressman Barney Frank. By WBUR Newsroom from today, May 20th. Politicians are remembering Barney Frank, the longtime Massachusetts congressman who died Tuesday, yesterday at 86. Frank served in Congress for more than 3 decades before leaving office in 2013. In a post on social media, Governor Maura Healey called Frank a giant in public life, noting his activism on civil rights and the LGBTQ plus rights. He was brilliant, fearless, quick-witted, and never afraid to say exactly what was on his mind, wrote Healey. The governor ordered flags to be flown at half-staff at all state buildings. She said she and her partner, Joanne Lidgate, LGBT, that's cool, are keeping his family and all who loved him in our thoughts. Frank was among the first openly gay lawmakers in Congress, and he was the first to marry someone of the same sex while serving on Capitol Hill. Healey is the first openly gay governor of Massachusetts and among the first of the nation. That's amazing. U.S. Representative Jim McGovern called Frank dynamic, colorful, and irreplaceable. He said, "I think they broke the mold when they made him. I mean, he was brilliant, he was funny, and he loved to debate. And he knew how to debate. He wanted to engage people and persuade people." Senator Elizabeth Warren remembered Frank's role in passing Consumer Protection Act as part of the Dodd-Frank Act after the 2008 financial crisis. In the aftermath of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, Barney Frank was the gravelly? I don't know what that word is. Hold on. Sorry. Got to look up words because I'm, fresh college graduate having to still look up words, right? Hold on.
Gravelly.
Gravelly. Okay. Sorry.
Gravelly.
It's so loud. Okay, gravelly is an adjective used to describe something that contains, resembles, or is covered with small stones. Oh, okay, so like sandpaper? I know, the voice. Here, one more time for you, Deviate.
Gravelly.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so in the aftermath of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, Barney Frank was the gravelly-voiced, smart as a whip congressman who fought hard to get the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau over the finish line, Warren said in a statement. Barney delivered for working people, and the world is a poorer place without him, she said. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick told WBUR that Frank was unapologetically liberal at a time when a lot of work has gone into making that sound like a bad word. And, he added, he didn't fit anybody's cartoon image. Hell yeah. That's what I remember. Congresswoman Kathleen Clark called Frank a dear friend and a lifelong champion for civil rights, equal dignity, and economic fairness. Former Congressman Joe Kennedy III, who succeeded Frank in the 4th Congressional District, said Frank was fearless and one of the great public servants of our time. That's crazy. Okay, I thought that was going to tell more about his life, but it was just people glazing him up, and that's okay. All right, here, let's read from CNN. Oh my God, what is this? Okay, never mind. I guess we're not going to read from CNN. We're not going to read from the Times of Israel either. Here, let's go from Axios if it's not paywalled. Oh, you know what? I hate Axios. Not that I hate Axios, but I just hate how they do bullet points. I know that that's their thing, I think, but it's just like, man, what happened to writing for people who want to read? Here, let's go to the BBC. Have to go to other countries' newspapers to get news. All right. By Brandon Drennan, Barney Frank, one of the first openly gay U.S. congressmen, dies at age 86. Here he... Man, BBC, God, paywall. Dang it. Okay. Hold on. We got this, chat. We have the technology. Maybe. No, maybe we do not have the technology. All right, we're just going to have to find another article, which we can do it. Here, Politico is usually free. Yes, okay. All right. Barney Frank, who led sweeping financial reforms, dies at 86. This country has never had a congressman like Barney Frank, and the House of Representatives will not be the same without him, President Barack Obama said at the time of his retirement. That's right. He retired in 2013, I think. All right. This is by David Cohn. Barney Frank, a sharp-tongued Massachusetts Democrat who became the first LGBT member of Congress to out himself, has died, according to his longtime friend, Jim Segal. He was 86. Frank came out to a Boston Globe reporter in May of 1987. For a sitting member of Congress, Representative Frank disclosed he is homosexual, was the formal-sounding New York Times headline. That's crazy. Hey, but shown in a box, we have the technology. Imagine coming out in 1987. Oh my God, freaking New York Times. Why can't these news organizations just let me read their stuff for free? All right. I don't think my sex life is relevant to my job, but on the other hand, I don't want to leave the impression that I'm embarrassed about my life, Frank said. He was 47 years old and had been to Congress for 6 years. At that point, Deviate said capitalism. That's why. Yes, these news organizations won't let me have free journalism because we have profits to be made. In 2012, he became the first member of Congress to marry someone of the same gender. Longtime partner James Reddy, in a wedding officiated by Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick. By then, the world had moved forward a bit. But Frank wanted to push his colleagues on Capitol Hill to grow with him. I did want to get married while I was still in office, he said. I think it's important that my colleagues interact with a married gay man. During Frank's 4 years as chair of the House of Financial Service Committee, he helped steer Congress's reaction to the 2008 subprime mortgage catastrophe, otherwise known as the Great Recession, caused by the big banks that were quote unquote too big to fail. The 2010 Dodd-Frank Act, which was designed to help the financial system avoid a repeat of that disaster, bore his name and brought a lot of heat his way from Wall Street. See, this is why I always knew. Shout out to Dodd-Frank. Shout out to Barney Frank. I always knew about him because of this specific bill. Because when my little I'm sorry, Beebs. I'm sorry. Yeah, Beebs was trying to go into the closet and I almost ran him over with my chair, but everything's okay. Back when I was a little tween, a little teeny bopper in 2008, 2009, and I guess 2011. Well, I guess I was an adult in 2011, but still. Yes, deviate, it's okay. Beebs is okay. He went to go find someplace else to sleep. So yeah, back in 2009, 2010, I was like, whoa, someone's actually trying to do something to prevent this Wall Street crash that, I was told was never going to happen again because we just learned about it in elementary school and the Great Recession and all that, the Gilded Age, but yeah, and so it really stuck out to me as a kid. His name is Barney Frank. I was a kid of the 90s. I watched Barney and Friends nonstop as a kid. Purple is my favorite color. So yeah, Barney Frank stood out to me. And then like when I found out he was gay and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. I had no idea. Okay, let's continue with the article. President Obama said about Frank's retirement, adding, he has stood up for the rights of LGBT Americans and fought to end discrimination against them. And it is only thanks to his leadership that we were able to pass the most sweeping financial reform in history designed to protect consumers and prevent the kind of excessive risk-taking that led to the financial crisis from ever happening again. If only there wasn't, other potential financial crises that are happening in the future right now, and it's just completely from these BS predictive markets. It was often said about him, Barney is Frank. During his 32 years, oh my God, he was a representative for 32 years? That's crazy. That's a lot. Frank was a cerebral champion of progressive causes with a cause. Oh my God, I can't read that word. With a causistic. Hold on, let's go to the Google AI voice lady again to how to pronounce caustic.
Caustic.
Oh, it was a man this time. Okay, caustic refers to substance that can burn, corrode, or destroy living tissue by Okay. Frank was a cerebral champion of progressive causes with a caustic wit and no tolerance for fools or mindless chit-chat. Heck yeah, sounds like my kind of guy. President George W. Bush dubbed him Sabretooth. Wow. Perhaps the most fitting of many nicknames that Bush came up with. Man, I feel like we don't remember any of Bush's nicknames for people because they just so overshadowed by Trump's nicknames for people. My verbal skills, both oral and written, are highly developed, and the rest is abysmal. In politics, that played to my strengths, Frank wrote of himself. Barney Frank was born March 31st. Heck yeah, March 31st. We got a March baby. 1940 in Bayonne. I wanted to say Bayonetta, but Bayonne, New Jersey. Deviate said, wow, he did some good things. I don't know if I heard of this guy. Maybe I have. Yeah, maybe you heard of him in The Great Scandals, which we will go over because there was many scandals with him, of course, being an openly gay man, right? There was many scandals. And I mean, he was an openly gay man in a time when, you know, it was not okay to necessarily be openly gay. I don't know how I didn't hear of him. Yeah. So let's continue. If not, this will be a good learning experience. He was my Bernie Sanders before I knew who Bernie Sanders was, right? Although Bernie Sanders existed alongside with him, and I'm sure they worked well together. But yeah, homie was great. The Dodd-Frank Act, which we'll go over a little bit more on today's stream. We'll go over that, and you're gonna learn, like, damn, this is the kind of stuff that we need right now, because we're headed towards another great financial crisis, and it's the same the usual suspects up to the same old crimes they're always doing. All right. I worked at my father's truck stop in Jersey City and went to a large public high school and then Harvard, he wrote years later in his autobiography. It helped because by the time I was ready to enter the job world, I had had a pretty broad exposure to a wide range of people. Heck yeah. I had been to Harvard, but I had also met truck drivers and people from my school. Bayonne High School had Polish, Irish, Italiano, some Eastern Europeans. Heck yeah. In 1964, Frank was a Freedom Summer volunteer in Mississippi. Civil rights would be one of Frank's leading causes in Congress. Frank said he was always deeply troubled by intolerance and poverty. I remember Emmett Till, who I think was about my age. Whoa, that's crazy. He said in an interview with Esquire in 1988, a black kid from Chicago who was killed in Mississippi, lynched. And I remembered being in high school and seeing a Life magazine spread on that and just being furious. It's probably bigotry that bothers me the most. Bigotry and undeserved poverty. Whoa, I got chills, chat. I got chills from reading that. That's epic. Barney Frank, epic man. Frank did graduate work at Harvard, but left before completing his doctorate to work for Boston Mayor Kevin White. Then moved on to a job with Representative Michael Harrington. In 1972, Frank was elected to the Massachusetts legislature. Thank you, sorry. And he served for 8 years. He also earned his law degree during those years. Whoa, that's crazy. Deviate said based. Yes, that's right. This man is based through and through. You know, it's just homie grew up knowing probably what it, you know, undeserved poverty and bigotry. You know, we'll get into some videos, but I can only imagine. We'll get into some videos of him, and then you could see, like, you know, like how gay sounding. I know that's super weird to say, but you could see like how gay presenting he was, and could only imagine like how he would probably get targeted. Frank did graduate work at Harvard, but left before completing his doctorate to work for Boston Mayor Kevin White. Then, oh yeah, we already read that. In 1972, Frank was and then he got his law degree, which is epic. He later wrote that it was not his hidden sexuality he was worried about when it came to seeking public office, but his religion. There were Jews who worked for other people, but Jewish elected officials were very rare, he wrote in his autobiography. But as I worked in politics, I found I had some of the skills that would be helpful for an elected official, and I was gaining some popularity. It turned out that once elected, I was good enough at some aspects of being an elected official that it overcame being closeted. Wow. The handicap was not being closeted. Some people knew I was gay, but that I did not have a family life that is very helpful for people politically. Yeah. I mean, this is the time, and I mean, still technically we do this horrible stereotype that gay men just don't, they're like the opposite of family values, right? They don't care to marry women or raise children, right? That's the stereotype. They just want to go out there and sleep with men. That's all they want to do. And in politics, I mean, shout out to my homie that just graduated. He's a politician in Moreno Valley. He was telling me that they the party he's affiliated with was telling him to get a dog because having a dog makes you look like you're a family guy, because he's too young technically to have kids, right? So have a dog. It shows that you're this type of person. And it's like, brother, just let people be people. Right now in politics, we need that authenticity. We need authentic people. We need real people. We need the Real Housewives. No, we need real people to be our politicians. Yes, we need real cats. This is so cute as an orange cat. All right. In 1980, Frank ran for Congress. One Massachusetts seat had been held for a decade by Representative Robert Drinan, a liberal Catholic priest. We had a Catholic priest in Congress. Oh my God. Yeah. Gosh. But in 1980, Drinan opted not to run again because Pope John Paul II, who became the pontiff in 1978, ordered him not to. Just ordered him not to. The Pope told him not to run, and then Frank jumped into the race. Frank edged Republican Richard Jones for the seat, then defeated Republican Representative Margaret Heckler in a high-profile battle in a merged district in 1982. After that, Frank didn't have another significant challenger until 2010. Frank certainly was not the first LGBT member of the House. There were undoubtedly some elected officials who concealed their sexuality. Others tried to do so and failed. In 1983, Representative Jerry Studs. In 1983, Representative Jerry Studs, a Democratic of Massachusetts, had been outed when it was disclosed that he had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old male page. Terrible. Absolutely terrible, brother. You can't be... Why? With your own staffers. A child. Okay, hold on. Let me look up. I just want to see what this man looks like. Jerry Studs. Jerry with a G. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. He looks kind of creepy. But maybe that's just me being biased against men. Man, this man's last name was Studs? This man had... Yeah, okay, thank you. Deviate said creep. This man's last name is Studs, and he was like, I'm gonna go into politics. No, is this his husband? Or I don't know, it's just it looks like a significantly younger man. Okay, hold on. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Oh my God, it's gonna get paywalled. No. In October 2006, Jerry Studs, the first openly, took his dog out for a morning walk and collapsed with a blood clot. And he died a few days later. Ever since, his widower Dean Hara, married legally to Mr. Studs in Massachusetts, has been trying in vain to collect survivors' benefits. Oh, that sucks. From federal pension and health insurance. Wow. Now in lawsuit. Okay, so that is his husband. Yeah, that's giving creep to me. Crazy. Okay. Okay, had been outed, blah, 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 Jerry Studs. 4 years later, Representative Stuart McKinney of Connecticut died of AIDS. What? Speculation over McKinney's sexuality was part of what drove Frank to out himself. No way. Hold on, now we gotta look up this guy. Stuart McKinney. I guess I should type in rep, but whatever. Oh man, this guy died. Wow. Oh, politician of the Republican Party who represented Connecticut's 4th congressional district. He is perhaps best known for coining the phrase "too big to fail" in regards to large American financial institutions, as well as for his struggle with the eventual death of AIDS. Wow. So wait, is he a Republican? I mean, he like a super conservative Republican? Wow. In 1987, Barney Frank became the first congressman to come out as gay of his own volition. Wow. And was inspired to do so in part of the death of McKinley. Okay. Frank told the Washington Post. An unfortunate debate about was he or wasn't he, did he or didn't he or did he, I said to myself, I don't want that to happen to me. Yikes, yeah. I mean, to have, after your death, to have someone, to have the news and the entire country speculate your sexual orientation. Wow. Okay. He wrote in a 2015 political essay, Barney Frank, I was ready to leave the closet as I would ever be, but how would I do so? Though I was a third-term Democratic congressman from Massachusetts, I had lived too long with the burden of the gay thing to treat coming out as a political matter alone. Frank said he would need to say something when the gentleman from Maryland, the conscious of the gay conservative, a 1986 book, mentioned Frank in such a way that smart readers could put 2 and 2 together about Frank's sexuality. Frank said he gave a heads up to the House Speaker Tip O'Neill, shout out to Tip O'Neill, a fellow Massachusetts liberal, but didn't go public at that point. The Boston Globe, Bob Healy, had seen that book and encouraged Frank if he came out to do so with his newspaper. Ultimately, Frank did that in the most low-key way possible. Reporter Kay Longcope asked him if he was gay, and Frank said, yeah, so what? Wow. In a response from his colleague on both sides of the aisle, Frank said, was overwhelming supportive, with his fellow Democrats becoming protective towards him. Yeah, until Nancy Pelosi. But like I said, we'll get into that story later. But a subsequent sexual scandal was a blot on Frank's records. In 1989, the Washington Times revealed that Frank had hired as his personal aide a male prostitute named Stephen Goby, with whom he had a personal relationship. Yikes. Frank fired and evicted Goby in 1987, he said, when he learned Goby was still working as a prostitute. Jesus. Frank also stood accused of using his influence to help Goby, among other things, with 33 parking tickets. Damn. Homie was out there working the streets and racked up the parking tickets. I don't blame him. There were calls for Frank to resign, and Representative Newt Gingrich, our freaking favorite, F that guy, Representative Newt Gingrich introduced a resolution to have him censured. The House ultimately vetoed 287 to 141 against censoring him, but did approve of reprimand by a margin of 408 to 18. I should have known better, Frank said by way of apology. I now do, but it's a little too late. The Gobi scandal did not ruin Frank's career. Instead, over the succeeding years, he was increasingly singled out as possessing one of the sharpest minds in Congress. Having a conversation with Barney is like delivering oral arguments in front of the Supreme Court, former Representative Steve Bartlett, a Republican from Texas, said of him in 2008. After the Republican landslide in 1994 midterms, House Minority Whip David Bonnoir, a Democrat of Michigan, asked Frank to be the party's point person in floor debates. According to the Almanac of Politics 1996, Frank prowled the floor ready to take up a microphone and deliver stinging attacks on Republicans' hypocrisy or cross-examine a freshman with all the mercy of a Harvard law professor questioning a not quite prepared first-year student. Amazing. In 2008, he told Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes that there were some validity to the idea that he was, well, mean. A gay man being mean in this economy? I'm antisocial. There's no question about it, Frank said. I think that I love this job, but the biggest problem is there are thousands of people in Washington who earn a living by trying to waste my time. Calling it out. From a legislative standpoint, Frank's greatest impact came after he became House Financial Service Committee chair in 2007. He was one of the loudest voices in the room as the meltdown of the financial system unfolded in 2008. Working to craft and approve the massive bailout meant to keep the economy afloat. Hank Paulson, who was Bush's Treasury Secretary at the time, said Wednesday of Frank, "When we were at the brink during the 2008 financial crisis, Barney was crucial in securing passage of legislation that gave the government the tools it needed to avert financial meltdown. His sense of humor brought levity to even the darkest days of the crisis." Among the commotion, Frank was persistent and argumentative, parrying objections from Republicans or anyone who might object to helping out reckless giants of finance, mocking those who complained without offering their own solutions. Or, as the New Republic Michelle's Colette wrote, Barney Frank simply would not shut up. That's funny. In 2009, Frank was one of the prime movers behind the credit card holders' Bill of Rights. Damn, that was great, and I don't think we ever got it, which was designed to help consumers avoid surprise freeze and unexpected rate hikes. Bigger and more fiercely contested was the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act, soon shortened to the Dodd-Frank for Senator Christopher Dodd, a Democrat from Connecticut, and Frank. After the financial system's meltdown, with all of its accompanying damage to the economy and American consumers, Obama and other Democrats wanted to put new guardrails in place. The basic premise was that the heavyweights of the financial industry could not be trusted to police themselves. 100% agree. Something the giants of finance industry understandably, no, not understandably, Politico. I don't trust these people, and they know that they shouldn't be trusted. Okay. Something the giants of finance understandably found problematic. In his memoir, A Promised Land, Obama wrote that Dodd and Frank made an odd pair, describing Dodd as the consummate Washington insider. In contrast, Obama said Frank's thick glasses, disheveled suits, and strong Jersey accent lent him a working man's vibe, adding that Frank had a withering, rapid-fire wit. After some long and difficult battles over the provisions of the legislation, Dodd-Frank passed both chambers and was signed into law by Obama on July 21st, 2010. It was a significant triumph, the most sweeping change to the rules governing America's financial sector since the New Deal, Obama wrote in A Promised Land, adding, Dodd-Frank would check a number of reckless practices, give regulators the tools to put out financial fires before they got out of hand, and make crises on the scale we just seen far less likely. In 2011, Frank announced he would not seek another term. His district had been redrawn, and Frank was not eager to try to win over new voters after all these years. The fact that it's so new makes it harder. Learning about new areas, introducing myself to new people, Frank said at the time. Frank and Reddy exchanged their wedding vows on July 2012 during a ceremony that Patrick and Frank had requested be short and to the point. Among other things, Frank and Reddy pledged to love each other in Congress or in retirement. Oh, that's so cute. Instead of in sickness or in health, they said oh. Damn, that's just so cute. I'm sorry. That's so precious. That's so precious. A few months later, it was indeed retirement. After 45 years, I'm tired, Frank said at the time. I look forward to a situation where when the phone rings, I won't be apprehensive that it's some problem I have to deal with. Some crisis, maybe that somebody else had done something stupid that I have to deal with, or in the worst case, something stupid I've done that I've had to deal with. In 2018, Republicans rolled back some of the provisions of the Dodd-Frank, with Frank going on the record as supporting some of what was in their legislation. He also noted that circumstances had changed in the interim. Frank was now on the board of Signature Bank. Interesting. What is the Signature Bank? Me being on the board has not changed my position on this at all, Frank told the Washington Post. But in what some of his old foes might have considered a fitting twist, Signature Bank collapsed in March of 2023. A graphic novel biography, Smart Guy, The Life and Times of Barney Frank, was published in 2022. The author was Eric Orner, a former press secretary for Frank, who included himself as a character. Okay. He'd turned what could have been a life defined by sadness or fear or revulsion into that was the opposite of those things, Orner wrote of Frank. Frank was present in Washington in December 2022 to mark the enactment of the Respect for Marriage Act, which enshrined same-sex marriage in federal law. A prime mover on the legislation was Senator Tammy Baldwin, a Democrat from Wisconsin, who has succeeded Frank in perhaps the best-known LGBT member of Congress. Oh my God, Barney Frank. A startled and obvious delight, Baldwin said when she saw him there. In April 2026, Frank, who had entered hospice care at his home for congestive heart failure, offered words of caution to his fellow Democrats, saying the party had gone beyond what many Americans were willing to accept. For a lot of my colleagues, the argument has been, well, we don't support defund the police or open borders, and we don't say we do, Frank said. But my point is, no, it's not enough to be silent. We have to explicitly repudiate it. He also said he understood his time was limited. At 86, I made it longer than I thought, Frank said. At some point, my heart is just going to give out, and it's reaching that stage. So I'm taking it easy at home and dealing with it by relaxing. God damn, how beautiful. Oh, man. Sorry, chat. That's... What a good man. And he knows. Damn. Okay. It's just history. So, all right. Let's I want to try to watch like a video of Barney Frank. Yeah, DV8 said, wow, pretty cool guy, right? And he was just a representative, just a congressperson. If I watch 60 Minutes, it's going to get copyrighted. Here, let's see. From the Associated Press.
It was an entirely voluntary error.
Barney Frank, a longtime Democratic congressman who brought new visibility to gay rights, has died. Frank was known for his wit, combative style, and focus on marginalized communities. A self-described left-handed gay Jew, the Massachusetts congressman was a leading liberal who also helped craft the most significant changes to the financial system in a generation. Frank was the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee in 2007, where he would leave his lasting policy mark as the U.S. economy careened towards collapse. He worked with the Republican Bush administration to pass a rescue package, providing vital support to financial institutions. Through his early years in Washington, Frank led somewhat of a double life. He socialized in the city's gay circles and had relationships, but did not publicly acknowledge it.
That's
After
crazy.
decades of grappling with his sexuality, he became the first member of Congress to publicly come out as gay in 1987. But in an interview with the AP in April, Frank said he hoped he would be remembered for advocating a brand of politics that embraced progressive ideals without forcing them on voters prematurely.
Wow.
Frank was 86.
Damn. Okay, hold on. I want to see like an interview. You know what? I don't want to hear anything Nancy Pelosi has to say about Barney Frank, because she hated on him when the whole scandal happened. Sorry, chat, bear with me. Oh my God, there's a video of him right before. Oh, okay. I don't want to see that one. I'll remember him in good on taxes. Okay, here we go.
The new 8 o'clock on CNN. Parker Spitzer, weeknights on CNN.
The White House has indicated a willingness to extend the Bush tax cuts across the board. Why do you think they're being so soft on this position, and what should they have done?
I think that was a mistake by one of the top aides of the president. They have now said no, they don't want to do that. Look, there was a great commitment to not letting taxes go up on the great majority of people, but I've talked a little bit about hypocrisy. When people tell me we can't afford extended unemployment benefits and we can't afford to keep police on the streets of cities in the district I represent and others, but we can afford to give multimillionaires a continued lower tax rate, that's just nonsense. I don't understand how you say you care about the deficit and want to reduce it and then be for hundreds of billions of dollars of lower taxes than the law would currently provide for all these people. And by the way, the argument that hurts the economy, we've had some proof that that's not true. Bill Clinton is the one who raised the rate on the top income producers from 36 to 39%. And Dick Armey and others predicted economic disaster. And exactly the reverse happened. The years after we voted for those Clinton tax increases, which I voted for, increases only on the upper few percent, we had one of the best economic performances in American history. The notion that somebody making $2 million a year will cut back on his or her economic activity because they're going to have to pay another $6,000 in taxes makes no sense whatsoever.
No, why?
Well, there's, of course, a big difference between somebody who's earning $250,000 and somebody who's a multimillionaire. But back to your point that some senior advisor, some senior aide in the White House made that statement. Who was that? David Axelrod or who?
I guess so, but once again, I'm more interested in public policy. I understand for the media critical of this individual or talking about that one. I don't mean to interfere, but my job is to talk about public policy. I don't explain where other people.
Now our conversation series on another economic
PBS.
issue that's been a major theme on the campaign trail this year. Are some banks still too big to fail? And do they pose a risk to the country? Jeffrey Brown has our latest interview.
In our first conversation, we talked with Neil Kashkari, president of the Federal Reserve Bank in Minneapolis. As a Treasury official during the financial crisis, he helped oversee the bailout of the banks. He now argues that the system remains in danger and that giant financial firms should be broken up. That's a view being heard on the campaign trail from Senator Bernie Sanders. In his interview with Judy yesterday, here's how he described the problem and his plan for it.
It would be important to point out that 3 out of the 4 largest banks in this country today are bigger than they were when we bailed them out.
Sorry, chat, real quick. I think we're gonna have Jersey on New York violence in just a few minutes, so prepare yourselves.
Because they were too big to fail. That you got the 6 largest banks in this country that have assets of 58% of our GDP. I happen to believe that when you have a few financial institutions with unbelievable economic power, with unbelievable financial power, that what we should do is reestablish a modern Glass-Steagall legislation, and what we should do, in fact, is break them up. Not only from a risk perspective of not seeing their greed and illegal behavior destroy our economy, as happened 8 years ago, but also from creating a competitive financial system where we don't have so few financial institutions with so much power.
Yeah.
And we get a response now from one of the leading players in the aftermath of the
Take
financial
cover
crisis.
in New York versus
Barney
New
Frank
Jersey.
served as a Democratic congressman from Massachusetts from 1981 until his retirement in 2013. As chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, he played a lead role in crafting the Dodd-Frank Law, which enacted the most sweeping changes to U.S. financial regulation since the Great Depression. Welcome back to you. The starting point of the critique we've heard is that the banks are bigger than ever. The potential for another bailout remains strong. Dodd-Frank was a start, but didn't go nearly far enough. Do you see a different picture?
Oh, very much so. In the first place, both Senator Sanders and Mr. Kashkari continue to evade the biggest question. That is, how big is too big? The crisis which touched off when Lehman Brothers couldn't make its payments. Lehman Brothers was about $650 billion in assets. We have banks that are 4 and 5 times that size.
Wow. Bigger than Lehman Brothers?
Does everybody have to be smaller than Lehman Brothers is today? Now, that would have consequences. Getting there would be a problem. By the way, it should be very clear, Glass-Steagall doesn't do it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. He's mentioning a lot of things that I need to explain, I think. Okay, so he's talking about Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers was the first bank that defaulted during the 2008 recession. And then the Glass-Steagall Act was the pre-Dodd-Frank bill that was put in after the Great Recession. Glass-Steagall. So that's right. It separated the commercial banking from investment banking, right? Again, super complicated. We'll do a brief overview. The part of the reason these banks are big is because there was a separation before, and now Ronald Reagan took away that separation. So the same bank can do commercial banking and investment banking. That's like, how can I make an analogy out of this? That's like saying that you're gonna do that's like saying that you're gonna do, I can't think of anything. That you're gonna be a grocery store and also a strip club. Yeah, deviate. Our favorite president, Ronald Reagan, always making the financial world a mess. I would say that separating commercial banking, that's just regular banking. That's like, hi, I need to open a bank account. It's because I need some place for my paycheck to go. And you can do that for me, and I'll come and get cash out, blah, 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 debit card, blah, 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 right? That's commercial banking. Investment banking is the big thing, the Wall Street thing, right? So kind of the thing to separate it was because when those banks are the same, they're using the money to do the investing. So they're using the commercial money that, the money that they make from commercial banking, they use that for investment banking. And then when investment banking fails in some crazy way, then you have like a big problem because that affects the commercial bank. And that's why during the Great Depression, when the banks were, failing because they were over lending and not able to receive their money back, that meant that all the people that kept their money in the commercial bank, their money was gone. And that's why we had the stupid FDIC thing, to ensure that every bank can cover this amount of money for each bank account they have. Deviate said more progressive than Bernie. Are you saying Ronald Reagan is more progressive than Bernie, or what's his name, Barney Frank? Because it sounds like, at least in this, we'll continue this argument that they had, or discussion. It seems like Barney Frank is not as progressive as Bernie Sanders on this issue. Maybe he's just saying that because he wants the bill that has his name on it to still have, still have that connected to it. Deviate said, yes, Ronald Reagan, but I was joking, yeah. Well, don't you know, Ronald Reagan was the first president of a union to become president of the United States. Not even Bernie Sanders did that, right? But yeah, so it's interesting. I would have assumed that Barney Frank and Bernie Sanders would have been on the same page, but Barney Frank just said, well, what does Bernie mean when he's saying too big to fail? Like, how big is too big? Is it bigger than Lehman Brothers, smaller than Lehman Brothers? But yeah, okay, let's continue.
Disconnect between Senator Sanders insisting that the banks be broken down to the point where they won't, by their own size, threaten, if they have too much debt, to undermine it, and Glass-Steagall. Glass-Steagall would reduce, it wouldn't do anything to Goldman Sachs and to Morgan Stanley, which are almost Glass-Steagallized themselves. But if you looked at Citicorp or J.P. Morgan Chase or Bank of America, Wells Fargo, even if they were subject to Glass-Steagall, they would still be well beyond the size that Lehman Brothers was. So there was just a disconnect there between saying we're going to do Glass-Steagall and getting the banks down to a size where if it was a complete failure, you would get damaged by it.
But let me ask you about the size question, because when I talked to Neil Kashkari, for example, he cited the example of the S&L crisis, where you had maybe 1,000 institutions go under, but the system wasn't at risk. So why not? Are you saying that size simply doesn't...
Did you... Go ahead. I am saying size is a factor, but did you ask Mr. Kashkari how big was too big? That's a major factor. By the way, it cost us more. The S&L crisis cost the taxpayers more than the TARP did in 2008. So I don't know why he would cite that. In fact, the failure of a very large number of smaller institutions turned out to be much more expensive to the taxpayers. In fact, as far as the bailout of 2008 was concerned, we made money on that in the money that was extended to financial institutions. And by the way, it wasn't just the big ones then, it was the small ones as well. The only institutions that weren't able to pay us back were the auto companies. And I thought it was a good idea to pay them. As to size, the question is not just the size, but what would happen if they couldn't pay their debts? And that's what people ignore. We did two things in the legislation to deal with that. First of all, we made it much, much less likely that they would get so indebted that they couldn't pay them back. It's not their overall size, it's the indebtedness that's the threat. You could not now have an AIG which got itself $170 billion beyond what it could pay off in derivatives, because we do not allow institutions under the law now to get so indebted without the capital to back it up. Secondly, and most importantly, what we said is this: if a large institution can't pay its debts, it fails. It is not too big to fail. It is put out of business by law. No federal official can advance any money to pay its debts under law until it's dissolved. What then happens is this: it may be that we would have to borrow from the taxpayers to pay some of the debts, not all, as the previous law required, but if we have to pay some of the debts to prevent the failure of a large institution from having serious economic consequences, the Treasury Secretary is mandated by law to recover every penny from other large financial institutions. And again, it is not the size of the institution, but the size of the unpaid indebtedness. And we have dealt with that by reducing the indebtedness and requiring that the institution will be dissolved if it fails.
What about the argument from Senator Sanders? We just heard it, and I think we should say you're a supporter of Hillary Clinton in the Democratic presidential race. But what about the argument from Senator Sanders on the political issue, the political power of banks who have, as he said 6 of them have assets totaling 50% of the U.S. GDP. Is that a problem for our democracy?
No, I don't think. The problem for our democracy is the one that both Senator Sanders and Hillary Clinton would fix, unlike the Republicans. That would be to appoint a Supreme Court justice who would overturn the Citizens United decision, which allows money to go in uninhibited. I will tell you this, in the legislation in 2008, and people who study this understand it, it was the community banks that had more power than the big banks. We did several things in that bill that favored the smaller banks over the bigger banks. There is a threat if they are so indebted that their debts don't get paid and they cause an economic crisis. That's the one I believe we have addressed. By the way, once again, with Glass-Steagall, and I would ask you, did you ask either Senator Sanders or Mr. Kashkari how big was too big? How can someone claim to be responsibly advocating reducing the size of the institutions without ever telling you to what size they have to be reduced? That's a fundamental question.
Well, I can just tell you that
I'll
just tell you that Mr. Kashkari said he was going to study it this year. So that I
so
did
in other words, he came out. That's pretty irresponsible. I think, frankly, Mr. Kashkari is acting still more like the candidate for governor he was in California
That's pretty irresponsible.
than a Federal Reserve official. And I think the answer is that it might be too small for them to want to stand behind that. But I want to get back to the political point. Glass-Steagall, which is Senator Sanders' only remedy, doesn't resolve that problem. People should understand Glass-Steagall doesn't break them into 3 and 4 and 5 pieces. Glass-Steagall says to Citicorp and Bank of America and J.P. Morgan Chase, you cannot have a securities division as well as a commercial bank decision.
Yeah.
Now, the Volcker rule already reduces that securities decision. But if you apply
Oh my God,
Glass-Steagall
he
to
mentioned
those
the Volcker. Jeez, that's Ronald Reagan.
institutions, you would not significantly diminish their size, certainly not below the level that Lehman Brothers was in 2008.
All right. Barney Frank, thank you so much.
Crazy.
The new 8 o'clock on.
Sorry. Let me find like a younger video of Barney Frank. Oh my God, not actual Barney.
Mr. Chairman, to you and to the chairman of the full committee, my deepest appreciation. Having become a chairman of a full committee, I understand the problems of trying to fit everything in, and there are a lot of members who would have put this hearing, let's be honest, pretty low on the totem pole, and in fact it wouldn't have been hard to find an excuse not to have this hearing, and give us the opportunity to meet our responsibility, confront something some people might pretend not to be here.
Yeah.
My colleague has given you a very good explanation of this issue, although I have to say you get focused when she said that people express this as having the feeling they are trapped in the wrong body. I was talking to the chairman of the full committee. The phrase having something trapped in the wrong body is how we often feel when our legislation goes to the Senate.
Wow.
We have
What
a
a
lot of
jokester.
legislation trapped in the wrong body.
Making trans jokes back in almost
to
20
get to
years
this
ago.
issue,
Jeez.
And my colleague has laid it out. First of all, we should be very clear. The overwhelming majority of legal interpretation is that gender identity is not covered when you ban sexual orientation. It simply isn't covered. And frankly, nobody who thinks it should be covered uses that argument. I mean, if you think it should be covered, if there's any uncertainty, well, let's put it this way. Whenever members of this body object to something on the grounds that it is redundant, I am skeptical. We are a profession, many of us lawyers, where redundancy is part of the code here in Congress. I mean, Using a
That's
few
right, he's
extra
a lawyer.
words is rarely something that we object to. So when people say they don't want it because it's redundant, they mean, I don't want it, but I don't really want to tell you why I don't want it. But in this case, there's no argument for redundancy. Any lawyer will tell you people are excluded. The next argument is, well, it can be disruptive. I mean, these are for people who say there should be equality. And I appreciated the gentleman from Minnesota stating a principle that I think we all agree with, that people should
Damn,
not
wait,
be...
sorry. This is Representative Barney Frank testifies before the Committee on Education and Labor at a hearing examining discrimination against transgender Americans in the workplace, June 26, 2008. Whoa, that's insane. Homie's using gender identity. I didn't even know those words existed in 2008. Amazing. Amazing.
denied a chance to earn a living because of some essential element of their personality that's really relevant directly to them and causes no harm to anyone else. So the argument, though, is sometimes it can be disruptive. I filed a gay rights bill in 1972, unlike my colleague, who was both younger and had the chance, being from Wisconsin, and she said because of that law, she didn't have to face this choice of living without philanthropy. Well, I did, and I made the wrong choice for a while and behaved irresponsibly because of it. I was ultimately able to get freed from it. And let me just say at this point, what I hope will be relevant as people get to know people in the transgender community and as we make progress here.
Wow.
I recognize when I first got involved in politics, if I was honest about who I was, I would have made some people nervous.
Yeah.
But they got used to me. I just want to reassure people here, you're going to get used to them. I understand this is new.
Whoa,
and we're
whoa,
human
whoa. That's crazy. 2008. He's saying, don't worry. Back then, I would have made people uncomfortable as a gay man. And I'm sure you feel uncomfortable right now with these transgender community, but you'll get used to them. Wow. Bro, what a legend. This is where Deviate, you could write in chat, based. Everyone write in chat, based. Based Barney Frank. Damn, that's so epic. Like, I knew he was like, obviously being a gay man, how is he not going to support LGBT rights? But, man, 2008, not even, this was when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton didn't even accept gay marriage. And we had Barney Frank saying, some people are going to make a big stink about these transgender people, but trust me, they're just like you and me. We're going to get used to them. Wow. Wow. Sorry, I'm just in awe with this man. Obama's last name? Obama. Oh, man, that's crazy. Here, let me run that back real quick.
To know people in the transgender community, and as we make progress here, I recognize when I first got involved in politics, if I was honest about who I was, I would have made some people nervous. But they got used to me. I just want to reassure people here, you're going to get used to them.
Wow.
I understand this is new, and we're human beings, and new and different sometimes make us nervous.
100%.
But, look, Tammy Baldwin and I, early on in our careers, given the nature of prejudice, frankly, in this society, we were seen as exceptions. People were nice to us, but we were exceptions. We were the good ones.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't want to be exceptions. And now I think we are not exceptions. We're examples. We're examples of the benefits all around when you overcome prejudice. Let's give the country a chance to expand that experience to people with transgender. And as for the disruption, I filed a gay rights bill in 1972.
Wow. Yeah, Deviate. Also, yeah, using some of the language we use today. That's crazy. 2008, saying to just give trans people a chance. Not the trans people not to just a few exceptions, the trans people in your life that you accept. Nah, all of them. Wow. Bro, Barney Frank. Amazing.
I have filed and worked for anti-discrimination measures.
Yeah, it does make me think this was recently,
race,
but no,
gender,
2008.
ethnicity, disability, and I will address
Almost
for those who say, well, you
10
can't
years
do,
ago.
You got to
No,
do all
wait.
at once. I've never done it
almost
all at once. As a matter
20
of
years
fact,
ago.
For a long time, I've worked for legislation which protected other people, not me. I finally got old enough to benefit from age discrimination legislation. But every bill
What
that
a
I have ever been
joker.
involved with where we tried to ban discrimination has met the same argument. I got nothing against those people. They're okay, but it will be disruptive. I've heard that with regard to sexual orientation, with affirmative action. Certainly, I mean, with not race, looking aside affirmative action, with ethnicity, with gender, with disability. People always say it's going to be disruptive, and it never is.
Wow.
I wish somebody who's got some time would go back and look at every anti-discrimination measure we've ever enacted and see the similarity of the arguments, and nobody goes back and says, well, where was the disruption? There almost never is disruption. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, the sad truth about anti-discrimination legislation is people know this and people here who practiced it, it tends to be under-enforced because the people who want to discriminate can get sophisticated, and the burden of proof is always on the one who's charging discrimination.
Oh my God.
So the argument that it's
bro.
going to be disruptive
Epic.
just doesn't work. The argument that it's already done, it's not true.
Yeah.
So, and as to need, you're going to hear from a witness who applied for and was granted a job by the Library of Congress. We're not talking about some benighted institution out in some remote part of the country.
I'll deviate said, just imagine if you were just listening to the audio and have no context of what or when this was. Probably would think it was this decade. Exactly. I would probably say it's within the last, what year is it? 2026. Within the last 5 years, you know? Because I feel like the whole DEI, hating on LGBT community, we don't need affirmative action no more. That has really popped off in Trump's second term, you know? Like it was bad in the first term and it was bad during Joe Biden, you know, because they were all complaining and stuff, and yeah, it's crazy. Like the part where he said gender identity, that blows me away because he wasn't, you know, we're talking about gender. This is a time when people kept saying, you know, in referring to gender, they kept saying sex, right? There's only two sexes, battle of the sexes, right? You know, and for him to be so aware of the difference between sex and gender is crazy, man. 2008. When Hillary Clinton couldn't even accept gay people, like gay marriage, or was like, I'm going to leave this issue to the states. Man. Yeah, I was just like, wow. And this video only has less than 600 views. Barney Frank Fortnite skin. Yeah, we need that level of respect for him. I don't know if Bishonen in a Box is still in chat, but Bishonen in a Box is playing Roblox now. Maybe we can hold a vigil for Barney Frank in Roblox and see how many people show up to it, you know? Bishonen in a Box said, I am. Nope, you're not playing Roblox no more. Why not? Come on, we could totally have a Roblox vigil or candlelight thing. I'm sure you can do candles in Roblox, right? And then we just pay respect to this legendary man. I hate Roblox. Hilarious.
The Library of Congress, our intellectual and cultural center, a person was hired, and when that individual told the hiring agent, well, I'm going through a gender change, she lost her job.
Wow.
And she lost her job, and I'm deeply offended by this because the hiring people said, oh, you know what, you're going to be working on terrorism. Members of Congress won't respect you. Well, I very much resent having that prejudice imputed to me and to you. And I hope that the Library of Congress will come to its senses and rescind this terribly bigoted decision. But let's be clear, you ask if there's a need. If this can happen to a qualified military veteran here in the Library of Congress, of course there's a need in other parts of the country.
Wow.
And let me just close personally. And I understand. Let's, again, be honest. I realized when I first realized I was gay, it made me uncomfortable.
What an epic joke. When I first realized I was gay, it made me uncomfortable. Like, yes, 100%. It's like, it's not just you. I'm trying to figure stuff out too, homie.
And I understand. Let's, again, be honest. I realized when I first realized I was gay, it made me uncomfortable.
He has good timing,
years
too.
Ago. It's not something, sexuality and difference, they come together. They get to the core of our human frailty. But we do get used to each other. And in virtually every case where we have confronted a prejudice, it's worked out fine. And we now boast about the lack of it. We're simply saying this is a new category to some people, but everything that applies in every other case applies here.
Yeah.
And for people for whom you think, well, gee, it makes you uneasy, well, how do you think it makes the people who are themselves transgender feel? Does anybody think anybody would volunteer?
Bro. Oh my God. He said, how do you think trans people feel trying to exist in this world? When they're experiencing bigotry and hatred every day, when they're having people stare at them. Damn. 2008.
To engage, to feel the kind of tension that my colleague so well described, to feel trapped in your wrong body, in the wrong body. And these are people who have courageously tried to deal with that so that they can maximize their ability to live the same lives we all want to live. Why would we deny them protection?
2026 and 2008, Barney Frank.
As I said, people got to get used to it. But that's all they're asking.
A man before his
Nobody's asking
time.
anybody to have dinner with people that make you uneasy or take them to the movies. Let them work. Let them work. People are asking for the right to have a job and be judged on that job by the way in which they do the job. Why should that be considered disruptive? And the fact that they are this or that or the other, it is no more relevant than it used to be about their race or their gender or their sexual orientation. And as my colleague pointed out, American corporations have benefited from this. No one is being given a license to misbehave. No one is giving a license here to be bizarre, although this institution has a tolerance for the bizarre that maybe other institutions would well emulate. But that's all we're asking. So just to summarize, you've heard from my colleague who we're talking about. Not a huge number of people, but they're people who first of all had a deep anguish and have courageously dealt with that. And they're only asking to be constructive citizens and to be allowed their personal space, but to be judged in their impersonal work, their economic work, solely by their merits. They are not now protected by the law.
Sound effects.
The argument that it would be disruptive is simply not true. It hasn't been disruptive in major corporations or in those states that have done it. These are people who are grappling with something that many here, let's be honest, are probably grateful that you don't have to grapple with.
Oh my God,
Can't you help 'em?
yes. Yes, Barney Frank saying, listen, you are lucky that you don't have to grapple with your gender identity on a daily basis. These people do. Let's cut them some slack. Man.
That's all we are talking about. We are talking about responding as a compassionate society, knowing that fighting discrimination illegally has worked well for this country, to extend it to a group that may be new, that certainly new, may be disturbing to a few people, but there is no more reason to deny them that than there was to anybody else. Thank you.
Wow, that's crazy. Crazy progressive. And this was like this was before conservatives even knew trans people could play sports. Because like I feel like that's all they're obsessed with right now. Damn. Okay. That was good. That was real good. Damn, shout out to Barney Frank. Here, well, let's see this. CBS Boston.
When you think about Congressman Barney Frank, how would you describe his legacy?
Yeah. Well, Deviate said, I can't believe it. He is literally using the counter arguments of today. Homie wrote the counter arguments today that we're using. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane that this whole transgender thing is still an issue. It's crazy.
Well, I think it's indisputable that Barney Frank was a crusader for causes that he believed in. As a young man, he marched with civil rights protesters in Mississippi, left Harvard University early to become part of a vanguard of young college-educated people who went into Boston City Hall to help shape the new Boston.
Wow.
And then as a state representative on Beacon Hill for many years, and then, of course, during 3 decades in Congress, he was a staunch advocate for civil rights in general, gay rights in particular, and spoke out on a number of issues that sort of cut against the partisan grain, if you will. For instance, in more recent years in Congress, he became an advocate for deep cuts in the defense budget, even when it was pointed out that those cuts would affect jobs and economic activity in his own district, the 4th Congressional District. So if Barney Frank believed in a cause, you could count on him to pursue it aggressively, without fear, without apology.
And I think when he was in Congress, he kind of represented the more left from the kind of typical centrist Democrats, but he was able to kind of bridge the gap between those two sectors. How do you think he would be in Congress if he was alive today and still in office?
Oh, well, in an unfortunate kind of way, I think Barney Frank would be perfectly suited for today's Congress, where everyone is at everyone else's throat in the...
There you go. Perfectly suited. He was 2026 in 2008. Man, could you imagine Barney Frank versus like Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that? That would be crazy.
Most aggressive, abrasive, partisan way possible. Frank could do that. He could play that game, and he did at times during his career. Admirers called it cantankerous. Critics and enemies might have had another phrase for it. But look, no one ever disputed Barney Frank's work ethic, his intelligence, and his commitment to the causes that he believed in.
Amazing.
This didn't always produce perfect policy. Congress isn't a place that tends to produce perfect policy. The Dodd-Frank banking regulations that he's so closely associated with remain controversial many years after they passed initially. Some people blamed him for lack of foresight in his to the positions he took about government housing lending in the years leading up to the subprime mortgage crisis that triggered the 2008 recession. So while he was not perfect, I would point people back to an early campaign slogan of Barney Frank's when he was running for the Massachusetts House. It showed a picture of Frank, disheveled, tieless, hair not combed, which was his typical look. And the slogan was, "Neatness isn't everything." And I think the case can be made. Barney Frank proved that was very true.
And I want to look back at, the early 90s where he was going through that scandal at the time, and then eventually, being recognized as this trailblazer for LGBTQ people, being the first openly gay member of Congress. Looking back on that to where we are now in 2026, he was a trailblazer in that respect.
Yeah.
Even though he was a closeted gay man for many years, even as he was promoting gay rights legislation at both the state and federal level, obviously the scandal was not a happy time in Barney Frank's life. He was reprimanded by the House for fixing parking tickets for the gay prostitute that he had brought into his home, and for also misleading an investigation into some of the specifics of that episode. However, probably the most memorable and telling thing about that whole episode is that when he ran for re-election the first time after the scandal, Frank was easily re-elected. And that indicated that even in a district which was liberal in its northern end, Newton and Brookline, but quite a bit more conservative in the southern end, the Fall River, New Bedford part of the district, Barney Frank's constituents, whatever they might have thought of him personally or his personal lifestyle choices, appreciated and respected the hard work that he put in and how he was there for his constituents. And that was, in a way, a breakthrough moment. Prior to then,
yeah, Deviate said kind of like how MLK wasn't popular at the time and is now the example and seen as a trailblazer. Yeah, I swear to God, they better not try to whitewash Barney Frank and like pretend that he's not gay or something. That'd be crazy.
What made him so popular with voters in his area?
Hard work, constituent service, a willingness to go to bat for causes that might not have been popular, and showing up. I mean, this man devoted his life to his work. There's no two ways about that. And people appreciated that. There was never a sense with Barney Frank that he was serving the bidding of special interests or
Oh no,
wealthy
yeah, that's for
donors.
sure.
It was always a sense that
Bashon in a
he was
box
going
said,
to bat
"Dang,
for what
crazy,
he believed
interesting
in
story."
and
I
for the people
know.
who
That's
sent him
why I had
Congress.
to
And that
share
served
it.
him
I
very
was
well as a
like, I
political
always
figure
knew
over
of
the
Barney
years.
Frank, but I
And I know
never like
post-Congress, a lot of these
fully
outlets,
knew
they kind of
him,
do
knew
these
him,
surveys
right?
about the
And I was
members
like,
in Congress
you know
over the
what?
years.
He's an
When he was there,
LGBT
a
hero.
lot of people would say
We got to
he's
cover
wicked
him on
smart
stream.
and he's wicked fast. He has those quips that he would deliver all the time that would certainly grab attention. Anything that sticks out to you just about his character and some of the things he said over the years that garnered that attention?
Well, you know, if you look around for genuine humor and wit in American politics today, you're going to have a hard time finding any. There isn't too much that's funny about the people in it and what they say.
Yeah, that's
but
for
Barney
sure.
Frank did have a sense of humor. It could be caustic and cutting, as he could be. But one line that stands out in my memory is he was a staunch defender of President Bill Clinton during the whole
Wow.
Monica Lewinsky
No
impeachment
way. That's
period.
crazy.
And when the Starr report, the investigative report that included all sorts of salacious allegations about the president's behavior came out, Barney Frank was asked his thoughts on it, and he said, I had trouble reading it. Too much talk about heterosexual sex. And you know, that was a good example of
No way. That's hilarious. What a great man, bro. He said, I didn't want to read the Bill Clinton drama because it's too much straight sex. Amazing. Amazing. Sometimes that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't want to learn about this heterosexual stuff. Like, it's not going to benefit my life in any way. And that's exactly how the Monica Lewinsky stuff, hilarious. Yeah, that's funny. I would love to find the clip of that.
Barney Frank was asked his thoughts on it, and he said, I had trouble reading it. Too much talk about heterosexual sex. And you know, that was a good example of the kind of one-liner that only Barney Frank could deliver.
And as we're talking about, you know, his legacy after his passing now this morning, anything else that you think's worth sharing in talking about the former congressman?
I mean, I don't want to inject anything negative into a moment of eulogy and remembrance, but I think Barney Frank's life, and I think he'd probably be the first one to admit he talked about this, reflects what a difficult, lonely, hazardous life serving in elective office can be. He obviously had personal struggles. Those are well known. He had difficulty cobbling together a satisfactory personal life, which he
TVA said, dude kind of looks like John Bolton. It's the mustache, isn't it? I guess it's the hair. Deviate. What did you think of John Bolton's mustache? I know it's just like, I mean, John Bolton, you know, he's the warmonger, right? Bolton. Not Twitter. Yeah, that guy. His like mustache is it's just John Bolton's mustache looks like an ingrown toenail. I said it. But yeah, he does. He got the mustache. It's like the 19 Oh. Damn, I'm sorry, Bashon. Oh, come on. I'm eating right now. Mine's better. Deviate, you keep saying your mustache is better than every other mustache on screen. You're gonna have to show your mustache one of these days. No. Oh yeah, John Bolton's looks like he's dying. But that's good. I mean, let me not say that. Okay, let's go back, finish this interview.
Did do later in life. He got married and appeared to have had a relatively happy retirement. But Barney Frank didn't get rich as a congressman, as a lifelong politician. He struggled at times with difficult periods in his life. Nonetheless, he persevered. His constituents made their appreciation clear by sending him back time and again with wide margins. And that's in a way, I think probably the single most salient fact of his legacy. He did it right in many, many ways.
Wow, that was good. That was good. That was good. Okay. All right. Could not find that quote, but I found New York Times articles saying that that confirming that he had said the quote. DBA, I guess I'm more talking about my character being better than John Bolton and Chad Bianco more than my mustache being better. That is true. But question, does the mustache make the man or the man make the mustache? Because I believe in the latter. The man makes the mustache. Yeah, that's what I said. The latter. So yeah. I feel like people like John Bolton's mustache, he's using that to hide his ugliness. But yeah, Chad Bianco, man, his mustache, like if you take that mustache off of Chad Bianco, wait, but shown in a box said not in Steve Harvey's case. Oh no. Oh no. The person behind the mustache is way more important. Yes, I agree. The man makes the mustache. And Steve Harvey, his hair moved from the top of his head to his mustache. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Okay. Okay. Deviate said damn. Oh man, fire is going crazy. What else did I say? Oh yeah. Union stuff. Okay. Well, I kind of wanted to try watching this, but it might be long. Oh we'll get into the Claudia. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, thank you, Bashona in a Box. I'm getting to the robots. Man, I swear, Bashona in a Box, DV8, y'all team up on me. Oh, that was... Damn, Claudia streams so much. Bomb. And AI in Spanish is backwards IA. Thank you. Foto no fue hecha con IA. I think that's it. Wait, no. Oh no, I don't want to see AI generated video of Claudia dancing. That's cringe. No. Okay, hold on. Okay, we'll just type in Deviate. Does she go live on Twitch? Does she have drops enabled? Yeah, she has those drops available for the cartel members. Robot. Oh, here we go. Sorry, this video in Spanish, I don't know what it says all the way, but I think it's implying that Claudia is a robot. and they yeah, the thumbnail is just like her as a Terminator with anime blushies. Oh my god, okay. Hold on. I know this is like the video. Oof. No. That's bad quality. No, not robots fighting. Whoa, look at this tiny little robot. Oh, okay. Claudia, please don't strike. Okay. Maybe we just gotta watch this short. It was 4 days ago. Roboto accompinado. Inauguration? Robot inauguration. Why is it only shorts? It's shown in a box. What has she done for Mexico? Or was it? It was one of the thumbnails, wasn't it? Okay, here, let's watch this.
Further the note also now that President Claudia Sheinbaum was accompanied by a robot, right? She was doing an inauguration, but we saw it because it really caught my attention that everyone said they were terrified of robots, but no.
That's not good.
No, the president.
Not good video. Oh God. Okay, I think this is it. The robot's wearing a t-shirt.
La presidenta Claudia Sheinbaum
Just a
inauguró
teach-
el
it's
Centro de
clapping.
Bachillerato Tecnológico Industrial y de Servicios número 305 en Mérida, Yucatán, pero lo hizo de una forma
Oh, this is in
peculiar,
Yucatan,
acompañada
okay.
de un robot
Oh
humanoide,
my God.
Atom, como es llamado.
Does it
Participó
have
en la
scissor
ceremonia
hands?
oficial donde también se encontraba el
Oh
gobernador
no.
de Yucatán, Joaquín
The
Díaz
hips
Mena,
are
y
so
autoridades
wide, brother.
educativas. El robot portó la misma
It got good
playera que
birthing
varios
hips.
asistentes y previo a cortar el listón inaugural, hizo la forma de un corazón con sus brazos robóticos. Después aplaudió y acompañó a la mandataria federal en el
I
recorrido por
can't
el
with the
plantel.
Hold on.
Con sus brazos
Watch it
robóticos.
waddle away.
Después aplaudió y acompañó a la mandataria federal en el recorrido por el plantel.
It can barely walk. It can barely
Por el
walk.
plantel. Por el plantel.
Damn.
Por el plantel.
Oh my God. I thought there was gonna be more on this. I'm so sad. Which robot was better? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling towards the Melania robot. But I don't remember how the Melania robot looked when it was walking. Let me pull that up. Robot. Oh, that's right. It was doing the runway rock. Okay. I feel like this one walks better. Yeah, it has more articulation. Okay, see, look at it feels more fluid. The Claudia, the Sheinbaum robot is not very fluid. Oh, the robot has it. See, this one, it's too jerky. Oh, never mind.
La presidenta Claudia
See, I
Sheinbaum
just the hand
inauguró el
clamping
Centro de
like this. Like,
Bachillerato
what is
Tecnológico
this?
Industrial y de Servicios número 305 en Mérida, Yucatán, pero lo hizo de una forma peculiar, acompañada de
And then, I mean, yes, this one has hips too, but it doesn't has as wide hips, as very narrow stance. Yeah, the hand clap kills me. Why do both women have robots? It's so weird, man. It's because both women were visited by a future robot who came back in time and told them that their son is going to be the savior of humanity. That's right. I'm talking about Baron Trump. Baron Trump is John Connor. And he's going to save us from the Trump robots. Oh, yeah. Chat. Are you interested in the Trump mobile phone? We can look at that real quick because I have been waiting for this. But I don't know. I want to know. The Trump robot. I feel like the Trump robot is better than the Mexican robot, the Claudia robot. Trump mobile. Okay, let's go. From NBC News. It's an ugly phone. Okay, first off, it's an ugly phone. Some Android knockoff phone. And I don't know how much this was.
From Trump Mobile is finally here. It was in June last year that the president's sons announced a bold new venture.
Today we're here to introduce
scam.
Trump Mobile.
The phone marketed as a
T-Mobile
patriotic
phone,
alternative
yeah.
to big tech and promised as an
Oh my
American-made
God.
phone.
We're keeping our data onshore. We're going to be manufacturing the phones.
Trump Mobile said the phone would be released in August. NBC News put down the $100 deposit that same month.
Thank you for your
No.
work, Brian Chung.
But 9 months passed with 12 phone calls and countless emails to the company. But one
Wait, Bichon in a box, $600, but they kept changing the prices? No.
day after this report last week,
here we are in May of 2026, and there appears to be no sign of it.
Someone on behalf of Trump Mobile contacted me and said devices were going out to the media.
And, okay, here it is. Here is the long-awaited
Oh my God,
Trump
it's in
mobile
bubble
phone.
wrap.
The phone is taller than an iPhone 17 and comes
Bro.
with 512 gigabytes of storage at a relatively
Not even a
cheap
terabyte? Not even a terabyte of storage?
$49, which the company says is promotional pricing.
Truth Social, pre-installed on the phone.
Oh
Like
my
any other phone,
God.
it can make calls, send texts,
Do some wide angles.
and takes pretty good
What?
photos too.
No,
the phone
it
looks
doesn't.
different from how it was originally
Oh
advertised.
my God, the originally advertised phone is just like a straight up knockoff of an iPhone, but it's like so bad. The stupid T1. The phone comes with insecurities. Yes.
The original language on the website said the phone would be made in the USA, language that has since been scrubbed from the website, now
Wow.
saying American Proud Design, with an American flag that has only 11 stripes.
What?
Experts say the phone
Only 11. Did they count the stars too? Bro, how could they get it so wrong? How could you disrespect the 13 colonies by only having 11 stripes? And America first? Whoa. That's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God.
resembles a phone made in Taiwan.
It looks very
That's a
similar. It has a very
Huawei
distinct
phone?
shape.
Yeah, that does look really similar. Almost identical so far.
We're not set up for a mid-range, kind of mid-budget phone to be made in that way here in the United States. If I had to put money on it, I would say that's the HTC U24 Pro.
Representatives
Yeah.
for Trump Mobile did not respond to questions about whether the phone is made in the U.S., and the White House did not confirm if President Trump himself is using the phone bearing his name.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, with that, Brian Chung joins us. Brian, we have so many questions. You've
Oh
got
my
the
God,
phone.
they have the
First,
phone in hand.
How does it work? You've been playing with it all day.
Yeah, I mean, it works like any other phone. It's got Android on here. I think, again, it's going to be a surprise to people that there's a Truth Social preloaded onto the phone. And you'll also...
I mean, it's a Trump mobile phone.
It is a
That's
Trump
probably
mobile phone.
expected, yeah.
And again, there's been a lot of chatter
But can you
about the
delete
11
it?
stripes on the
Can
back.
you delete the Trump Truth Social from the phone, or is it like pre-installed? Like has to stay on there? That would be crazy. Deviate Brian from Family Guy. Leave Brian Chung alone.
back instead of 13, although maybe the Trump Mobile is the 13. But I think a lot of people are asking a lot of questions. Again, this was a phone that was supposed to be made in the USA. The side of the box here says proudly assembled in the USA. So
What does that mean?
Well, there are implications. So the FTC actually declares whether or not you can say if a phone is made in the USA. It depends on the parts. If you say
Where are they
assembled in the
assembling?
USA, that means that the parts could come from abroad. But if a substantial amount of the assembly happens in the US, then you can say it's assembled in the US. But again, not exactly what was originally advertised when this was first announced in Trump Tower in June.
Yeah, and then we noticed just talking to you the hole in the top of the phone because we haven't seen a mini jack in a long time on a
3.5
on a cell
millimeter
phone.
headphone jack, which I think
Wow.
people will remember. That's where you used to plug in
For
your
headphones.
phones. Now
Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, wait, here. We're gonna friend of the show, who's not really friend of the show. Let's watch Charlie.
You ever seen a man
He was very excited for the Trump phone.
whose soul leave his body? You have now. So, about 5 months ago, decided, let's take a peek into this whole Trump phone thing.
What Deviate, what do you think of Charlie's facial hair? It's kind of spotty, but I feel like he could have a good mustache. But the whatever this side of the beard is called that's on your cheek, that could use some work.
Because they're long overdue on delivering this golden phone that'll reinvent my understanding of what it means to deliver a phone call and, I don't know, ask Grok to put me in a bikini on my mobile device. And, well, that started
be careful you
a
don't
bit of
actually
a snowball effect.
Accidentally invade another country when you're using the phone.
I'm trying to get my hands on this fucking mythical device. I would probably have better odds of finding a real-life Dragon Ball than a T1 device. Anyway, I don't need to regurgitate the lore for how we got here. Point is, there's been a new development, a huge disaster, and I mean this isn't a meme, I'm not being exaggeratory. What's unfolded is a complete fucking catastrophe. There is a massive security problem with TrumpMobile.com that has led to thousands of customers getting a big cock in their mouth.
I'm making this video to let you know that TrumpMobile.com is leaking customer information.
No.
And I know that because, sadly, I am one of those customers
No.
whose mailing address, email address, everything short of credit
How
card
did this-
number
Oh
is
my
being
God.
leaked via a security exploit that I'm not going to go into too much detail to explain, but it's not complicated.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Trump phone supposed to be like the most secure phone? Yeah. DVA said I'm not a facial hair expert, and yes, friend of the show. Jeez, the Trump phone, I think they were marketing it as this safe phone, and oh my God, they got their own information, their own internal information got leaked. That's crazy.
Yeah. Proud customer of Trump Mobile here, trying to get my paws on that T1 device, has put me on the hook here of this security vulnerability. So this individual had sent me an email, as well as CoffeeZilla, as well as a lot of other customers, about this vulnerability that they discovered on the Trump Mobile website, which allowed them to access every piece of customer information except credit card number. That seems to be like the only thing that they weren't able to like look at there, but everything else
Pause
was
Fury?
just right out there frolicking, and they were able to look at it and were able to prove that this wasn't some hoax, that they actually did have this big security breach that they were able to get all this information from. Basically, they have the whole kit and caboodle of everything Trump Mobile. They got them by the titties. They're squeezing on the honkers. And they were able to provide a lot of information about it, as well as like divulging the method, which neither CoffeeZilla nor myself will get into, but it is a big whoops-a-daisy that needs fixing. So CoffeeZilla and myself, as well as this individual, have reached out to Trump Mobile in every possible avenue we could find to put this on their radar for them to fix it, because this is a huge issue.
Yeah.
All of us have been met with radio silence. This individual does not appear to be some kind of like malicious bad actor trying to use this for some kind of nefarious purposes. This is someone that has actively been trying to get it fixed, and then when he's been met with nothing but crickets from Trump Mobile, as well as a couple of other outlets that he reached out to, that's when he reached out to myself, CoffeeZilla, and multiple other people as well that were customers here, victims of this security flaw. So since no one from the official Trump Mobile team is receptive to this kind of alert, what else is there to do besides just make this video and CoffeeZilla's video publicly talking about it, so that way maybe they can, see it and fix it, because this is a huge problem. And this should hopefully dissuade other people from purchasing a Trump Mobile device, because it is not safe to do so right now. It is actually dangerous. It has a huge security issue.
I mean, exactly how it works was explained to me. I'm not a computer expert, but even I can understand the mechanics of it, meaning it's very low-hanging fruit. Basically, this past weekend, I was reached out to among many other people who have Trump Mobile accounts to let us know that our identification was being served up. This was by somebody.
It was just from the website. I'm not after money. I don't live in the same. I'm just trying to get people from stop getting doxxed. Wow. Deviate. What is Pause Fury? I don't know what that is. Is the game? Yeah, that's crazy.
Who said they had no interest in doxing me, but they just wanted to let me know that this was happening. This person had my order information, my mailing address. They had other people's information as well that they shared with me just to prove it was real. Of course, blurring out the actual address data. From what I can tell, the person who contacted me, they're just interested in getting this fixed. They contacted the Trump Mobile team. They didn't respond.
Bro, I fucking swear the Trump Mobile, the T1 device, is like the mummy's curse. It brings nothing but misery and plague. Like, everything Trump touches is literally the cheese touch. Holy fuck, man.
Cheese touch.
I bought the
cheese
phone.
touch from freaking Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Hilarious.
As a joke, just to see, A, if it would ever actually come out, and B, if it does release, if it's any good whatsoever, like what actually even gets served to me. And as a result, now I get butt fucked. This is the president of the United States, man. Just the concept of this would be something that people would insult and critique if they saw it in some kind of like satirical context in like a show or a movie. Because it's so over the top stupid. The fucking president of this country has a company, and has had many companies that are complete fucking shams. But this one in particular is not only extremely shady and unable to deliver anything that it has been hyping up and taking orders for so long, but also has a security flaw that is actually disastrous for the customers. It's just unthinkable. So you can't trust your information with the president, something that is backed by the president of the United States of America. Like, I knew this whole thing was a bunch of barnacles, like everything with the T1, just another one of Trump's endless money-grabbing ploys, like the Trump Bible and all that. But I would have never expected it to be this much.
But people
of an
will tell you how smart our president is.
throbbing
Yeah.
Headache.
Always.
I'm porky pigging right now. It's just so annoying.
We have received no response from the official team. So basically how we feel is there's a public interest in letting people know, do not order on TrumpMobile.com unless you're ready for your information to be leaked. It's basically that bad. And also raises concerns given that Trump Mobile is offering a cellular service. I don't know how much of a view they would have into people's browsing histories, call history, location data, but I would assume they keep some of that data. And if that is the case, I'd be very concerned given how much, or should I say, how little protection they give to your basic customer information, which should be obviously like under lock and key.
That's exactly right. This is a massive safety concern. Giving your information to Trump Mobile is like covering yourself in raw meat and jumping into the grizzly bear habitat at the zoo. It's a recipe for disaster. So, since they haven't responded to any of us reaching out to try and get it fixed, this is the only option to let people know, do not place any product orders with Trump Mobile right now. And if you already have, goose is kind of cooked. Sleep with one eye open, I guess. Cold sweats. I don't know what to tell you. There's not a whole lot you can do. We don't know if this is the only individual on the planet that's figured this out, or if it has been exploited by like malicious entities that have been scraping this data for dubious reasons, and they just haven't made it known to anyone yet. We have no way of knowing that right now.
Will not
this
order
individual reached out of concern, and they'd been trying to get it fixed themselves to no avail, so then reached out to us to try and get it fixed, and we also got radio silence as well, so there's not a whole lot of other options left. But this appears to be someone that genuinely just wants the problem fixed, and the whole purpose of talking about this is this shit needs to get fixed. This is a huge fucking issue.
Now, among other things that were discovered while realizing that, my address is out on TrumpMobile.com being served up to anyone who knows this security exploit, we also found out that the real number of customer orders is much lower than we thought previously. It had been reported that 600,000 people ordered the T1
There
phone.
is no Easter
Turns out that
Bunny.
number
There
was
is no
basically
Tooth
made
Fairy.
up from thin air. But actually looking at the customer, unique IDs, it looks like the real number of actual customers on this website was more like roughly 10,000 unique customers with roughly 30,000 unique customer phone orders. I don't know if that also includes Trump Mobile itself as a cellular service plan. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like about 30,000 different orders went through, much lower than previously reported, about 5% actually of what was previously reported.
Yeah, that was a wacky little nugget that came as a result of this individual having access to basically the fucking mainframe of Trump Mobile.
That's crazy.
They were able to comb through and look at the total number of product orders that were placed, and according to that information, the numbers that have been reported with the 590,000, That's straight fucking horseradish, apparently. Which shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, because making up numbers has become the bread and butter tactic of anything Trump adjacent. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
They're just lying.
But I guess I just really thought that Trump Mobile was like more successful with like brain dead lobotomites. So this is actually something, I guess, positive. You could look at this positively, like, oh, there were only roughly like 30,000 suckers, and maybe a handful of them were like myself and CoffeeZilla, who were there to try and see, like, well, what is this piece of shit? Like, is it even real? That kind of thing. Like, investigating it, I guess. Who knows? But it is a much lower number, according to what has been discovered through all this, than what they have been saying it is.
Which might explain why this has been seemingly such a low priority for Eric Trump and the people who are involved in this. It seems like there have been delays, changes, all sorts of stuff. Looks like they're trying to back out of this thing, only to then later say, no, we're actually going to deliver it. At this point, I don't know if it's more just to get this off the legal liability ledger, because it doesn't seem like there's as much interest in this device as was previously reported. And in some ways, it's good, because it means the blast radius might be about 10,000 customers, which is still bad, to be clear, but much lower than was previously thought.
I think that was a great point from CoffeeZilla there, because that would really explain why this has been so low on their list of things to do. They promised a phone a year ago.
Yeah, it's not going out to people,
let
is
that
it?
fall to the back room.
I was just spent the last few minutes trying to find like a legitimate review, and there's like only one of a person who has it in hand. I mean, the NBC News person had it, but this other
So as I was scrolling through Twitter,
YouTuber I found did like hands-on review, I think. He actually, oh, that does not look like the Trump mobile phone. Wow, that does not even look like the same phone that the NBC News person had. But yeah, I guess nobody's getting the phone. That's crazy.
the mock-up of the T1 phone was supposed to be a flagship spec device, almost looking like an iPhone as well. And as always, timestamps to all the tests that we've done will be in the description down below for your pleasure. So there are real photos and videos of supposedly the real phone of the T1.
That looks like the one that the NBC journalist
massive
had.
T1 font and text in the back. And if you look at the T1 trailer, the consumer version, it's not going to have that. So it's kind of confusing on how this phone will officially look like. So this is probably the best bet that we're going to get right now in the meantime while we wait for the T1 release. And when we compare screen to screen spec compared to the specs for the T1 phone on Trump Mobile's website, this is the same 6.7 OLED display up to 120 Hertz. It does feature full HD plus, and it does have a fixed 50 megapixel camera on the back.
Damn.
Battery capacity.
Okay, so it seems like, yeah, so it's not the phone. I know, so like no one has the phone. The only guy that has the phone is this NBC journalist.
Gold casing, a flag stamped on the back. This
reinstalled on the phone.
Cheap $499.
That's not the
which
same
the company
phone
says
that
is
that other person
promotional
had.
pricing.
Truth Social. Pre-installed on the phone.
Like any other phone, it can make calls, send texts, do some wide angles.
It's just
It takes pretty good photos too. The phone looks different from how it was originally advertised. The original language on the
I don't know, man. It was another scam. It's just like the freaking Trump sneakers. Yeah, not even trying to hide a scam, LOL. Someone said if you make a call in Spanish, ICE will storm your house. Jesus. Jeez, yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Here, let's watch this Hasanabi video where I think he talks about what's it called? The Trump tax fraud situation thing.
There is no anti-war right. It's 100 Epstein. The United
It's election day in the United States of America. In numerous states, Kentucky, Georgia,
I'm gonna go
and
use the restroom while this is
Pennsylvania,
playing.
to name a few, and we are getting ready to rumble.
Holy Toledo.
Philly, go out and vote. Georgia, go out and vote. Kentucky, go out and vote. Charles Booker, but also maybe Thomas Massey. I don't know. You know, holy Toledo, folks.
Indiana, and both of those situations are unique from mine. Bill Cassidy voted to impeach the president. That's something I've never done and I would never do. And his constituents were mad about that, right?
God, I love Thomas Massey so much. He is such a freak, dude. What a rare bird he is. He's like, I'm so much more MAGA than Bill Cassidy. I would never vote to impeach Donald Trump. It's awesome. He's so awesome. Libertarian final boss? Absolutely. Thomas Maserati, baby.
This is one of the most, if not the most expensive House primaries ever. More than $30 million spent. I'm on the race here and talking to voters. There's a sense of exhaustion as well. But, Sarah, this
is now
one...
officially the most expensive primary race in the history of the United States of America. Number 2 and number 3 were Jamal Bowman and Cori Bush. Now, what's the connective tissue there? Why is the number 1 most expensive primary race in the history of the United States of America and the number 2 most expensive primary race and the number 3 most expensive primary race in the history of American elections? What could it be? What is the thing that connects Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, 2 Democrats, and Thomas Massey? That's right. It's Israel. It's just broad daylight. They are literally subverting the democratic process. A foreign lobby for a foreign state, the number 1 ally of the United States of America, small nation, tiny nation, size of New Jersey, surrounded by scary Muslims. That's what it is. No politics here. Do not say Israel is buying seats. How dare you? How dare you say Israel buying seats? Haaretz literally confirms that the Kentucky primary is for Israel. The most consequential Republican primary for Israel is happening in Kentucky. At some point, we got to be like, this is a little up, no? What will it take, folks? When will Americans wake the up to what's going on? This is totally ridiculous. It's happening in broad daylight. It's almost as perverse and as ridiculous as Donald Trump taking $1.7 billion of taxpayer revenue from the IRS to spend however he sees fit. It's happening in broad daylight. Is highway robbery, and people are just sleepwalking. Donald Trump doing, 58 trades a day since the beginning of 2026. How did that happen? People who got real mad about Nancy and Paul Pelosi, myself included, I was mad about that too, and you should be mad about that. It's perfectly valid to be upset that congresspersons are trading on non-publicly available information, and yet no such consideration is given to the president when he's doing it in broad daylight. What are we doing? What's going on? Actually, not to get all Tucker Carlson here, but what the is going on? We're not a country. We're not. If you allow foreign lobbies to buy and sell seats like this without any pushback whatsoever, you can't be a country. You're not. We're not a country. The United States of America is no longer a country. It's just a holdover state for corporate interests. Corporate interests that can come in and buy elections, foreign lobbies that can come in and buy elections. Basically now, an Israeli-owned casino. Shout out Miriam Adelson. It's ridiculous.
She's out here voting because things are really expensive and hard. I passed by a gas station here in Allentown, $4.89 a gallon. Those are the issues that are really bringing voters.
If Massey loses, do you think it has enough of an impact to disillusion some people? No, it means that people are totally in a drunken stupor. If Thomas Massey wins today, that's a huge blow. That means no amount of moneyed interest, no amount of cultish thinking that is in the core of the Republican Party, that's like anchoring the entire base at this point, is enough to unseat someone who's actually fought for his own moral convictions and said, I'm not going to compromise on my values. If Israel and Trump in unison wins here, which, by the way, is not unexpected, okay, it shows something about the state of Republicans. It says that the base is completely a cult, 100% a cult, okay? It's just totally a cult. It's not necessarily a bad thing from our perspective. In some ways, it's terrifying how cultish it is, but it's a cult that is getting smaller and smaller. So from that perspective, I think it's beatable. One example I will use is the Ken Paxton endorsement. In Texas, Ken Paxton is a polarizing figure, not just for the Democrats, but amongst Republicans as well. But he's full MAGA. And Donald Trump endorsed Ken Paxton today. Ken Paxton actually performs worse against James Tallarico than Cornyn. And now that Donald Trump is boosting Ken Paxton, this actually improves James Tallarico's chances. So you will see potential flips in areas that we never thought were possible to flip because of the way that Trump is moving. Trump is very clearly mustering up all the forces. He's saying, this is my party. It doesn't matter. I care about ideological loyalty. I care about loyalty to me more than anything else. I don't care about the performance of the party at all. I only care about making sure that my guys are, winning. You know how the Democrats have done a similar thing for maintaining the corporate control over the party? Something that caused them to lose over and over again. Something that might even cause them to lose in the upcoming midterms in areas where they could potentially win. That's what Trump is doing. This is how you lose elections that you could possibly win. When there is unilateral control over the future of the party in the hands of one egomaniacal madman, or a national party that chooses to defend corporate interests, even when the warning signs are right there. For the Democratic Party, they lost the election because they refused to lean into the demands being made by the masses as far as more bold, more radical changes in the economy that would help the working class, or their unbelievable loyalty to the nation state of Israel as it was engaging in heinous war crimes and doing a genocide. That loyalty caused people to stay at home. That loyalty is the reason why people didn't vote for the Democratic Party and Trump won.
Somewhere 82, 83% on average. That is higher at this point in a second term than either Barack Obama was with Democrats back in 2014, and certainly way higher than George W. Bush was at this point with Republicans back in 2006. I'll note Grindr, by the way, going in the Grindr. That's a quote from Good Burger. I love that movie. But what is, what's so important here is what happened in Louisiana. Will that necessarily hold in Kentucky? Maybe, maybe not. But Bill Cassidy's performance on Saturday night, I went back through all the spreadsheets that I possibly could, looking at every single primary that an incumbent senator had just after World War II, back in 1946. Bill Cassidy's 25% was the weakest performance of any incumbent senator in a primary. Again, I don't think
Trump is God. For MAGA, which is the entirety of the Republican Party, Donald Trump is God. He is no longer just like a political figure. He is a deity. You have to look at modern day
They do be treating Trump like that, don't they? Deviate said, agree it's a cult, and people will say, let's try a Republican in California. Vote who you want. But come on, it's a cult and things get worse under them. 100%. 100%. The Republican Party welcomed Donald Trump in with open arms once they knew that he was a viable path to them winning power over again. And now they just never called out Trump and still haven't. And it's just crazy. Sorry, opened up my Sprite. I took the opportunity to get some food too. Okay.
Republican voters as a cult. That's it. I genuinely think at this point, if Donald Trump turned around and said that he is a communist, we could have a communist party in this country. That is the level of influence Donald Trump has over his base. Okay, Donald Trump tomorrow could be like, I am a communist. I love communism. The Republican Party is completely at the...
And then also I got a peanut butter sandwich. I was just like, I just want peanut butter and bread. Oh, and then hot Cheetos, because I'm a hot Cheeto maniac. I need that red 40.
Mercy of Donald Trump. Bill Cassidy's a demon. Yes, I hate Bill Cassidy. I don't give a shit about Bill Cassidy. But the reality of the matter is, seemingly, Republicans don't give a shit about Bill Cassidy either. Okay, they will drop any and every person that they have consistently voted for. That's why the Kentucky race is important. The Kentucky primary for Thomas Massie is unbelievably important. It's unbelievably important because Thomas Massie is not even like Bill Cassidy, right? Bill Cassidy has had his woke moments, which Republicans love punishing regardless. Thomas Massie is not woke at all. Thomas Massie is 90% of the way with Donald Trump. Thomas Massie is more MAGA than Trump is. So at this point, is MAGA a definable...
Sorry, a mouthful. Thomas Massie lost? Damn.
set of opinions and ideology and policies, or is MAGA just whatever Donald Trump likes and whatever Donald Trump hates is no longer MAGA? That's the question taking shape within the Republican Party primaries in Kentucky. I personally believe it's a cult. This is an important moment because if Thomas Massie wins, that means that there is actually a fissure within the base of MAGA, where there are at least
I guess that all goes out. Hassan's predictions all out the window.
Republicans that are capable of looking at individual policies and saying, look, I love Trump. I love Massie. Massie did great with the Epstein stuff. He did great with Israel. I agree with him. At least for that district in Kentucky, we can figure out whether or not there is anything redeemable about the Republican Party, or not necessarily redeemable, but is there something salvageable? Because if there is a real fissure there, if Thomas Massie wins the primaries, that means there is at least a fissure that can be exploited. If Thomas Massie loses the primaries, it's over. There's no better indication. I mean, that paired up with Bill Cassidy, paired up with all the other things that have taken place, it's done. Israel and Donald Trump can just, at least on the Republican side, destroy the candidacy, destroy the legacy and the impact of any Republican, no matter how loyal they are. That's what we're going to find out today. I hope Thomas Massie wins, because if Thomas Massie wins, that means that there is a deep fissure within the base where, for the first time ever, maybe regardless of their cultish attitude, regardless of their dear leader praise, there are certain things that the base of support within MAGA still sees and can make individual changes on. That means that there is, like, you know, there is a little bit of hope to lean into that deep fissure.
As these numbers come in here in the Lehigh Valley, in the 7th District.
Numbers on the board.
Two other, Lauren, big races that we're watching in Pennsylvania tonight. Bucks County, not just for personal preference reasons, but because that is one that's going to be a battleground come November. And then, of course, the Philly District, Pennsylvania 3 that we've been talking about, too.
Late. NBC's updated numbers are just the same numbers that we saw already. AIPAC already gloating. Congratulations to U.S. Navy SEAL Ed Galbraith for defeating anti-Israel incumbent Thomas Massie. Pro-Israel Americans are proud to back candidates who support a strong America-Israel alliance. Being pro-Israel is good policy and good politics. Fuck! They're farting on us!
Jesus.
There is no Easter Bunny. There is no Tooth Fairy. There is no anti-war right. It's 100% true. There's none. It doesn't exist. There's no anti-pedophilia right
the way
either.
he just
Let's
yells
be real.
suddenly.
As of today, it's official.
Aren't you happy, chat, that I don't randomly just, well, I mean, I'm sure I do, but yeah.
Okay? MAGA is a cult, and they're pro-pedophilia, pro-Jeffrey Epstein, pro-Israel, unconditionally. They are just a cult. That's it. There's no reason to fantasize about, like, what is Tucker Carlson gonna do? Is Tucker Carlson gonna motivate the people to not vote for the pro-pedophilia, pro-Trump, pro-Epstein candidate? No, it don't work. It's not real. It doesn't exists, okay? These guys are insane. Yeah, Galbraith, by the way, didn't participate in any debates, barely campaigned, but he had Trump's endorsement and tens of millions of dollars from pro-Israel groups behind him. Democracy. Straight up. He got carried. This is the Republican closed primary. These are lifelong Republicans. Have you changed your mind on Tucker's viability as a replacement for Trump? No, because Tucker doesn't exist in a world where Trump exists. It doesn't change the calculation for me at all. What comes after Trump will be Tucker Carlson, who will be just as cult-like as Donald Trump. That's what I think. Once Trump is out of the picture, it doesn't matter. The only person who can carry that same exact cult that has the capabilities of reading the room is going to be Tucker Carlson. But while there is one guy, while Trump is around, it's Trump and nobody else.
Damn, he lost by a lot.
All right.
But what I do think is Tucker might
or 10
actually
percentage
change his
points.
tune a little bit. He might be singing a different tune after this. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's a room reader and the room is yelling at him. Yeah, notice any trend with the most expensive congressional races? It seems like there's a
Wow.
trend. I wonder.
That's crazy. The Thomas Massie race, 34 million. Jamal Brown race, 25 million. Cori Bush race, 14 million. Yeah, it also shows you how easily we are tricked. Yeah, I don't know if you heard DV8, but I guess a former Trump supporter called in to C-SPAN and was like, I can't. I got bamboozled. I kept, giving Trump second chance after chance, and he just kept disappointing. And he basically called in and was like, for anyone who's questioning not supporting Trump, just go and do it. Don't support him. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy phone call. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the Trump supporters do next. But I think Hassan's right in saying that there will be no Trump successor until Trump is completely out of the picture, because Trump wouldn't let any successor come while he's still around. I don't know. I may be wrong, but who knows? It's crazy.
Wonder how that happened. 34 million. Thomas Massey versus Gallery. Jamal Berman versus Latimer, 25 million. These are primaries, okay? Yeah, what good is it to be able to read the room if the base of support that you are going for is illiterate and can't read? Oh my God. Devastating. Again, like I said, it's now official. The Republican Party is a cult. Now we're going to find out if the Democrats are a cult too.
It is the most expensive race ever. I think when they add it up, right now they can count 35 million. I think when they add it up, it's going to be a lot more than that, because on our side, we know we spent more than 15 million. And we were able to go toe-to-toe. There was never a week that we got outspent more than 2-1 in this entire race. Once it got underway. And that's
remember,
also,
guys, this doesn't mean that Ken Paxton has it in the bag, though, because the rest of the country despises these freaks. It's an increasingly shrinking base of cult-like support, but there's a limit to it. If the opposition is strong enough, they can win. As it stands currently, until Donald Trump decides he's going to put armed ICE agents at every polling station who not only ask for your papers, but your voter affiliation, which could happen. And Democrats could just turn around and say, what are we going to do? Oh, no, we have to vote extra hard next time. I know they're shooting us at the polling stations, but we're going to vote harder. But remember, the Republican Party is gone. Okay, it's over. It's done. There is no, I'm a Trump supporter, but also I don't really with Israel. I'm done listening to this. As long as Trump is around, he is God. Trump is perceived as a deity. Trump is perceived as a godlike figure. The Idaho primaries were the first inclination that people don't give a
Oh, wow. Okay, so Republicans, Democrats, yeah.
About any personal opinion whatsoever. They don't have any ideological standing. It's only Trump. Trump is God. And then we saw the Louisiana race. Third place, dude. Incumbent getting into third place. There is no anti-war right. It's over. There is no anti-Israel right. There's no anti-war right. As long as Donald Trump is the president, as long as Donald Trump stays pro-Israel, this party is pro-Israel. As long as Donald Trump is pro-war, this party is pro-war. Anything but a decisive victory for Thomas Massey implies that there is no base of support. There is no base of support for anything but Trump. That's it. That's where we're at. The fact that
Well, I guess we got there. Deviate said, didn't Kyle Kalinske say the floor is like 23% that will stick with Trump? I'm sure, yeah. I think it's like something like 20% or something will like always be there to support him. And yeah, I guess if in these states, what states was it? Ohio and... Oh, well, whatever. Yeah. Freaking Trump supporters are crazy, but it seems like they're, I don't know. I keep waiting for them to change their minds, and yet I don't know, man. I do not know. I literally had one of my classmates. He was a Trump supporting Latino, like straight up Mexican, you know. His girlfriend is, I'm pretty sure, Mexican too, but he would always walk around school with his little Trump hat, his little MAGA hat. And he had like a MAGA hat for every day of the week too. He would have like a white one, a blue one, the classic red one, you know. He had MAGA hats up the wazoo. So it's like, clearly you're a Trump supporter without a doubt. And, you know, it's been like 2 years of him supporting Trump. And at one of the school functions that I gave a little presentation on, which I still will make the YouTube video on. I have been meaning to. But at one of the presentation I gave was on comparing democratically elected leaders who then turned into authoritarians, comparing those in Latin America to Trump, right? And at the end of the presentation, it's like, Trump had this presentation was like 2 months ago or something, right? So we already knew that Trump was fully down the authoritarian path, right? But I guess just the way I presented it, I backed it up with facts. I straight up made the comparison. I was like, Nicolas Maduro and Donald Trump are the same person. It's just ironic that Trump had the ability, the power to take out Nicolas Maduro, because, that, like, if basically the United States was in the same position, we're still in the same position that Venezuela was, where we have this leader that keeps eroding our democracy. And I would imagine that, well, there was a time when many Americans were like, please, someone, the United Kingdom, take us back. We don't want to be under Trump, But anyways, back to my classmate. So after I give the presentation, he comes up to me and he's like, wants to make it very clear to me that he likes Trump. And he knows that I know that he likes Trump. But he wanted to make it very clear to me that Trump was not a dictator, or that he didn't support the dictator moves that Donald Trump was doing. And I was like, wow, this is great. Progress, a sign. I talked to him a little bit more later on. Come to find out that homie agrees with the Renee Good situation in saying that he saw Renee Good trying to turn away from the cops, that the Renee Good was not trying to, be a violent person in that situation, when all of Fox News and everyone else was saying that, Renee Good was trying to harm the ICE officer, and that's why he was justified in defending himself, right? To hear a MAGA supporter say that I saw that with my own two eyes, and I disagree with what my people, everyone is saying. It's like, it was, to me, a little bit breath of fresh air. Like, I'm like, okay, you're not a complete idiot. You're a dumb kid who is in love with these different conservative guys and idolizes them. Yeah. So, but like I was saying, it was very clear to me that Trump being perceived as a dictator was a bad thing in his mind, and he knew that he shouldn't be supporting Trump in doing these things that go against democracy. And it's like, great, that's great. I would love to see him throw away all those MAGA hats one day, but who knows? So, sorry, that was kind of a sidetrack, but I just wanted to share that, people can get out of this cult-like behavior if they try, if they're willing, if they're open-minded. So, all right. That's it on Hassan and the Trump phone. What else did I have covered? Not the Barney Frank. I already did that. Deviate said, people support Trump for the memes, which is not a great thing either, but that was mainly his first term. Yeah, I agree. Everyone was like on board with the memes. It was like a joke to support Trump because owning the libs or whatever, Bashan in a box said, that's good that you talk to people to help change their minds about Trump. And see, that's what I'm saying. Even the great thing, it's not like I had to sit down with him and be like, so you should not support Trump because he's a dictator. He just straight up was like, oh, this really smart classmate of mine who I respect, hopefully. I'm pretty sure he respects me. This really smart classmate of mine is making these great points against Donald Trump, you know, and instead of like doubling down and, you know, maybe calling me out or, you know, trying to argue with me, he was just like, I'm going to take the L on this and try to make it seem like I don't actually like this part of Trump. You know, I know that liking this part of Trump is not good if he likes it or not. But, you know, it's like I didn't even have to talk to him. I was just myself and I just did my stupid little 10-minute presentation. And it you know, left us a thing in his mind where he was like, I gotta make it clear to Angelina that I don't like dictators and that I don't support Trump being a dictator. And I was like, ah, okay. You know, this is so yeah. Anyways. All right. So nice. KCAA. Yeah, it probably takes yourself to really change someone's mind because they respect you to some degree. Yeah. I that's, you know, that's what changes my minds on lots of things is having people who I respect be you know, the ones who were like, yeah, you sure you should think that way? Maybe you shouldn't. But okay. All right. Nah, I don't want to watch that live. Okay. What was the other thing? Give me a second here, chat. Oh yeah. Okay. I know what I want to look up. So we're going to do some sports right now. I don't know what's happening, but there was a bunch of Arsenal posts all over my Reddit. And I guess it's because they won first ever Premier League.
Well, after 22 years, Arsenal can once again call themselves Premier League champions. Their title triumph was confirmed after Manchester City drew 1-1 at Bournemouth, meaning Mikel Arteta's side will lift the trophy for the first time
one
since
in 22 years.
2004
Wow.
on Sunday at Selhurst Park. So much to come this hour. Player reactions, tributes from former players, and a breakdown of just how Arsenal secured their 14th English League title. But first, here's how Arsenal's players reacted when the final whistle blew at the Vitality Stadium.
Oh my God, they're so happy. Oh, one of the most successful franchises in England and the world. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, the Arsenal players watched City's draw together at the club's training grounds. So glory for Arsenal, but after their defeat to rivals Manchester City in April, the momentum had shifted away from North London. However, Declan Rice insisted the title wasn't done. And last night, Rice posted this message on Instagram: "I told you all, it's done." But last night, he was in a much more low-key mood, it's fair to say, during their celebrations. The Arsenal players keen to show everyone how much bottle they really have.
That's hilarious.
Eberechi Eze and Martin Odegaard had a bit of fun with the bottler's tag as well. Eze posted this picture of the Arsenal captain with a bottle in his mouth, mocking the Manchester City fan. And these were the joyous scenes outside the Emirates Stadium last night as thousands of fans gathered to celebrate their title, determined to make the most of the night after a wait of more than 2 decades for a league triumph.
Oh, you got We've trusted you for so long, and this is why you paid.
Oh my God, all these oi bruvs. All these oi bruvs coming at me. They have a lot of fans around the world. Yeah. I think my uncle is a fan of them. I'm not sure though. He's going to be so mad. My chemistry teacher is an Arsenal fan. Hilarious.
He's completely fixed the whole club. He's had difficulties sort of going through with it, but he's managed to get us to that next level. And we've had our struggles every season, but he's got us there now. We finally got over the line.
I'm 42 years old. My children are 7 years old. My best friend's 42. He's never seen Tottenham win the league. My 7-year-old son has seen Arsenal win the league again.
I've been waiting this my whole life. I can't believe it's true.
I can't believe it's true. Bashon in a box said, God, these annoying British guys, and they don't even have the sexy accent. So they got the oi bruv accent. When I was in high school, he was an Arsenal's fan. Hilarious. Chemistry teacher, Arsenal fan.
We won the league! We know what we are! We know what we are! Champions of England!
Oh my God.
They've got over the line, and they deserve 38 games in the Premier League. You deserve to win it. Yes, the football's not been pretty at times. We all know that. But to do that consistently over a season, you've got to take your hats off them. And especially when you're up against Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest of his generation as well. So congratulations.
And they flipped the pressure back onto Manchester City. So they've shown they've got unbelievable character. And I think to even level that, they've been bottlers. They haven't been. They were just against one of the most incredible teams in Manchester City that were just relentless. They just stretched them and they made them become better. And they've had to find a way. They've had to maybe get those marginal games that you need to do, set pieces, goalkeeper, everything that he's done, Mikel Arteta, to find a way to turn his team into title winners. And you have to credit the Cronkies as well, because they could have maybe just gone under the pressure at times of maybe feeling like it wasn't the right thing. Is he going to be the winner? He's proved tonight that Mikel Arteta is a winner.
So Arsenal beat Manchester City to the title. They come up short for the second consecutive season, and Pep Guardiola has sent his wishes to Arsenal.
Congratulate Arsenal.
Oh, the Corgi Cup?
Staff, backroom staff, fans for this Premier League well deserved.
Is that a specific trophy?
At the same time, for my manager career, one of the years that we fought the more with the incredible things that we could not control.
No, it's not a real thing. Okay. You know what? If you would have told me that Queen Elizabeth herself came out to give the Corgi Cup out, I would have believed it. I'm like, yeah, Queen Elizabeth, she's still alive, clearly. She still has all her corgis, and she has the Corgi Cup. It's like her own version of Rainbow Road, but it's the Corgi Cup.
To arrive in the last moment, you know, to try, of course, it wasn't in our hands, but yeah, today the fatigue was there, so 12 days to prepare that game. They played for the qualification for the Champions. Extraordinary team, incredible.
And why not get the pets involved too? Gabriel Martinelli posted
so
this
cute.
Of the Arsenal dog Win, who looks like he's enjoying his night with his trophy.
The Arsenal team has their own doggy. That's so cute. It gave him a cup that says top dog. And then a little champagne bottle. That's so cute.
And bottle of champagne in dog toy form. Lots of Arsenal's former players have been sending their congratulations
14 league titles
to their
overall.
former club too.
Wow.
Well, former captain Granit Xhaka posted a picture of himself with Mikel Arteta and called them a special team, great players. And
can enjoy some nights, and then I'm sure they prepare well for the Champions League final, because it's another big game for them. So all the
this
best.
guy's trying to cover up his receding hairline.
Wenger were captain and manager the last time Arsenal lifted that trophy. But as Jurriën Timber and Bukayo Saka were keen to point out on social media, they'll soon touch it again.
Wait, what I'm about to show you. Light that up. Hey, let me tell you something. 22 years there was laughing, there was joking, they're not laughing anymore. Look, it's going to be shining, look. It's going to be shining bright.
Wow.
Prime Minister and Arsenal fan Sir Keir.
Oi, bruv. That was cool. Congrats to Arsenal. Oh, no way. Okay, hold on.
A new footage of David in prison is shocking everyone, and he would reportedly be in serious trouble. On July 4th, 2025, David was on a Twitch live stream, hanging out with his friends Neo and Sukana. The stream appeared casual. They were laughing and talking in what looked like a living room. Then David interrupted the conversation. He apologized to his friends for the way his bathroom smelled. David allegedly began sexual...
Okay, this is weird. Never mind. Okay, wait, here, let's see this.
One more step along the rocky road to what they hope will be a first league.
I hope this doesn't copyright me, but...
Arsenal ever closer to Premier League glory. Opening weekends don't just start seasons, they set tones. In they go.
So the opening game.
Rice, Deer couldn't keep it out, Calafiori heads.
Wow, what a unexpected goal.
Shoot by Declan Rice. This is Dorgo. Sheshko is in there. Imbumo, what a save!
Oh, that was pretty
Arsenal's new campaign is up and running. These are the games that can shape seasons. Here is Odegaard.
Right in.
Declan
Poof.
Rice. Flick on headers, brilliant, and it's in! Arsenal score!
TV8 said, Manchester City.
Victory brings them to within 2 points of the summit.
Okay. All right. I just got copyright stricken for this video. It popped up on my YouTube thing and it said, it seems like you're streaming something that is has already been streamed by someone else. So, all right. We're gonna stop here anyways. We covered everything I wanted to cover today, which is great. Let me get music going. Okay. Yeah, so we covered everything that I wanted to cover today. I know. I'm sorry, Bishon in a box. I know. Good stream. Very good stream. Almost 4 hours. And we had a lot of good educational stuff with Barney Frank. Yes, peace out. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for joining in. My name is Angelina Tucci. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Be sure to hit that like button on this video. I didn't do any promo during the stream. Damn, I need to be better about that. But yeah, have a good rest of your night, everyone. We'll be back later this week. Placenta, always. Gotta end it with placenta. One of these days, we'll have to react to Kim Kardashian freeze-drying her placenta and then making tea out of it. Because that's just how, you know, crystal mommies roll. But yeah, peace out, everyone. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.